#1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. How is everybody doing? Oh, it's going to be a fantastic evening. Our guest is on the way. Never fear. Sir, I have a soundboard. I don't need additional sounds.
Was I muted or not there?
No, you were not. You were absolutely, like, it was full blown in the mic.
I'm sorry. I thought I was muted on the mic. Okay.
No, we're going to clip that.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Oh, God.
That's funny.
Oh, what I need to do is I need to start clipping, like, a bunch of the things that we say that are just completely out of context and have, like, a 15-minute long intro like most of these guys do.
Yeah.
God.
Just release it in one long video for everybody to laugh at. Just call it Iron Age Nights out of context.
Oh, my gosh. That would be fantastic for the clips. That'd take a lot of editing work. It would take a lot. Like, when we get to a certain amount, I think what I'll probably do is if we get to, like, the milestone, like 100 episodes, you know, which is obviously quite a ways away, but like we hit like 100 episodes, like it's going to be a 5 or 10 minute long clip. And I'm just going to tell people like, hey, what's some of your favorite moments from shows? Like, send me timestamps. Yeah. And the reason you have the audience send you timestamps is because then you don't have to go look for them.
Exactly.
Oh, make your audience work for it. Gentlemen, how have you been this last week?
I've been doing all right. I just been trying to stay ahead of the tidal wave of madness that I'm creating for myself with this whole magazine thing.
I know, dude. I've been seeing how busy you are, and I'm just like, you know, I don't envy you.
We'll see if it works. We're gonna sink or swim here pretty soon.
Oh, it's gonna work. It is going to work.
That's gonna be good, man. There are a lot of people very excited for what you're doing. Oh, hey, you know what I should do? You know what I should do? I should say hello to the chat. Should I say hello to the chat, or should I let them suffer?
We should always say hello to the chat.
They're mean, though.
Yeah, and?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, down in the chat, we've got Darkish Multiverse. How are you doing, good sir? I was just over there last night. They got two rants out of me last night. They got two rants.
One.
I know. Well, they got a somber rant, and then they got a pissed off rant. That's what people tune in for. They tune in for the pissed. They want to see pissed off Royce, which, yeah. Skunk's Workshop down there. Hello, how are you, James Craig? Hello, James. I actually meant to let you know. I've been last couple nights. I've decided to work through some more. What I found out is that if I read one story for too long, it gets stale. So I actually need to jump around in the stories. So I'm taking a break from Star Shatter. I picked up your book. I've cleared like 2 chapters in the last couple of days. And man, dude, you got a great thing going on there with Infinite Money Glitch. So really appreciate it, James. Evele Music down. I'm officially out of Bushlight Apple. Oh, God. And it's discontinued. Thank God. Skunk's Workshop. Hello. How are you, TJ Marquis? Which I just picked up. I just picked this little thing up, courtesy of Maji Chan, who she's not able to join the supporter tiers. And so she bought a gift card for me for Amazon and said, hey, use this to buy some books from these fantastic creators. And I was like, okay. So I was actually able to buy 3 books because these guys are selling their books at such a steal. It's almost hard not to buy them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, we've got Swift Sword Rush, AS Brunert. What's going on? 10 Cage, how are you doing? King Bob!
King Bob!
I blow my voice out when I do that. My voice still hasn't recovered from when I got sick a while back, and it's weird. It's very weird.
You're over 30 now. Nothing.
Shut up. Yeah. We're not talking
about slowing down. You're slowing
down. Somebody commented the other day, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you have such a baby face." Like they're like, "You look your age now," and I'm like, "How old did you think I was?" And they're like, "I think you said on a show you're 39, 35." And they're like, "Honestly, I thought you were like 42." Somebody was like, "I thought you were like 42," and I was like, "I'm 31."
Yeah, I'm the old one here.
Oh God. Oh man.
It's good for my age.
What's up?
I said I look good for my age.
You know what, dude? If I thought dudes look good, I'd probably agree with you, but I don't know. I got eyes for one big titty goth girl on this planet, and that's it. Oh man. 42 what? Yeah, 42. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. That's what now they could have been just joshing with me. That's just what the comments said. We'll get into the comments on Sunday. You guys know how I do. No, I'm really excited for tonight, guys, because I have a box, right? I have a box that was sent to me around Christmas time, and it was from Bryan Asher. Huh?
Speaking of out of context things, I have a box as an interesting statement to start with.
I have a box. You know, I could have said I have a jar of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guess what's inside?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box? But anyway, DSBOL for $10, the first super chat of the evening. He says, "Good evening, Iron Age." Hello, TSBOL. He actually just joined up with the Gilded in the last week or so, and it's a lot of conversation over there in the Gilded. So, guys, I would love to I love spamming my Gilded. My Gilded is where you get the most like value added. You can join the Gilded for free. You just have to answer a question, and then if I think your question, the way you answer the question is good, or I know your screen name or whatever, I will let you in the Gilded. So it's awesome. It's Royce's last wig in the box, right? Right. You know what, dude? I need to find somebody to help me do like a short comic, just like a short, like 10, 20 page comic, and we'll call it The Wig of Destiny. And like the wig will have like the wig will be the locks of hair cut from Samson's head, you know, and they have been stored, and that wig grants the strength of Samson. Like we could do something like that. We could do something like
some Tenacious D.
Oh, dude, we can totally do it. And the wig of Destiny. That movie was hilarious. Oh, but yeah. So yeah, no, guys, go and go check out the Gilded. Go over there, and you guys can go join the fantastic community that I have over there. And I do like to shill the subscription tiers over there, which are the Iron Age Guy, the Iron Age Daddy, and the Iron Age Booty Daddy tiers. And the reason that I love to shill those things is because that's the best way that you guys can support me. Because Gilded doesn't take a lot of money. And gentlemen, would you look at that? We picked up ourselves a Bryan Asher.
There we go.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep, we got you.
I hear the fantastic crack of the beer too. Good. And sir, I need to give you kudos. I need to give you kudos. You come on stream and you have that fantastic artwork next to you. Gentlemen, this
Yes.
is what's called planning. Do you see what he did there?
Good job. Yeah.
He got everything set up. Is that a green screen?
No, that's
No.
my wall. That's my
Nice.
wall.
That's awesome. That looks like a green screen. Get you a wall that wants to green screen for you as hard as his wall green screens for him, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, we're just getting through introductions here, and I was stalling. And for those of you who are just like, that was stalling, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to roll with it. I have my style. You have yours. It's fine. But we're going to get into the introductions and talk about what's been going on this last week. We've got Roxas down in the chat. Stay Base just join us. Hello. How are you guys doing? James Craig, jealous of the artwork as well. Everybody's going to be gushing over the artwork.
Well-deserved jealousy.
Yes.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
It's going to be great. Richard, you kind of gave us a little bit of a preview, but go into some more detail. And what have you been up to, man?
Well, there is the Iron Age magazine that is rapidly coming together, and I'm going to drop the link in chat real quick.
See, you know that you're a mod on the channel, and you can just
yes, I know.
Oh, okay.
That
Chat, not private chat. Oh,
yeah,
thank God.
Yeah. See, I'm learning slow.
Nope, you're good.
But surely.
It's fine.
Yes,
Slowly.
but what is not slow is how quick this magazine is coming together. So, if you have any comics or reviews or short fiction that you want to, or you think we'd like to put into the magazine for the first issue, get us something to evaluate your work with by March 1st, and we're going to be making decisions and putting everything up. So yeah, I know. So basically, I'm going to be, hammering things out pretty concretely into the beginning of March, and then late March we're going to be launching the crowdfunding campaign for the first issue. So, I was going to say, Mr. Hunter threw me off my game there, but anyway,
sorry.
So the Indiegogo campaign will be going up here in a few weeks, and that's just going to be, I think that'll just be for the first issue to make sure that I don't, cause myself significant financial harm trying to set everything up, and then everybody orders like 10 issues.
Right. Yeah. That's, well, good luck, man. Because in a few weeks, Richard's going to age about 70 years.
Yes, yeah.
He's going to lose a lot of hair. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
My beard will be completely gray. So
Yes.
It's going to be awesome.
He will become Richard Graybeard.
See. Oh, Richard Graybeard. Why do you get the cool names? You get the cool names. Kikomon for $2 to show me, show you. Kikomon. Oh, Mr. Daniel P. Riley, what have you been up to this last week, good sir?
A lot, but I can't talk about most of it. I've been... I don't want to ruin the surprise, okay?
Yeah. Oh, now it's a surprise. Okay.
It is.
I don't like this show.
No, I don't like the show. I'm dipping my toe where I need to, as you pointed out on Wednesday. But for the most part, I'm keeping the cool projects close to the vest, other than, the Cheese and I work that I've been doing on book 2. That one I'll talk openly about all day long. Feels a little weird to do that. But yeah, otherwise I am fantastic.
Good, man. Good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a really, really awesome guest to have, because Bryan Asher was the first guest that we ever had on Iron Age Nights. I don't even think, cheers to that, ladies and gentlemen. That was... I don't even think he knew that it was going to be an Iron Age Nights. I don't think we knew it was going to be an Iron Age Nights. I think we just like, we're going to...
Saw what happened.
Yeah, and
that didn't really happen. That didn't come together until like a couple days before it actually started. So,
and what it was is we're like, hey, we want to do this conversation thing again. That was really fun. And I was like, but guys, I've already scheduled this interview with Bryan because he reached out to me, and like I'm not gonna put him on the back burner. That's not a thing. And I'm gonna be honest, Bryan, because of how all that worked together. I think you were kind of the critical piece of us going, let's get more authors, because I don't know, had you and I not scheduled that, that this would have come together and we would have been like, no, let's get authors on the show. Let's do all that. So, ladies and gentlemen, hail to the chat and hail to Bryan Asher. Cheers to everybody out there.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Cheers.
And I know that's why I'm excited to have you back, man. I'm like, man, the first guest that we ever had on, you had 2 books at the time. Now you've got 3 books and a giveaway that you're going to help me announce tonight. You son. Anyway, because I have the box. It's down here. It's literally months in the making. Months in the making. And because I've been trying to.
Bryce kept not doing it.
No, I couldn't figure out a proper gimmick of how to do it. And then Bryan's like, I got a new book coming out. And I was like, I have a gimmick. So, but.
And what a book it is, too.
And I have, wait, have you seen it already?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this thing now.
Yes.
So you guys remember like 2 weeks ago? So
Yeah,
you guys
dude.
remember like when Daniel was like, I had to do a 48-hour copy edit and it was rough. Yeah, that was because Bryan was like, hey, bro, I need you to do me a 48-hour copy edit.
Oh,
Yep.
man. This launch has been very interesting. It's been great, but it's been very, just a lot has hit me all at the same time. But, you know, I'm going to roll through it. I mean, this is what it's all about. You learn, and I'm excited. So, unfortunately, I had to have copies ready for a convention. And for me to get them printed in time, I had to have the manuscript uploaded by a certain date. And so I literally got it in at like 11:30 on that date so I could get copies in time for the convention, which showed up at my door today. So
Yes.
That's awesome.
yeah,
What
I
convention?
called KDP and was like, you got to get me books on time. I was trying to figure out which facility was going to print them. I was going nuts, but I have it. I have it. They are real. They are here.
Ladies and gentlemen, they are real. Yeah.
And if you order one on Amazon,
real.
it comes in 2 days.
Real books, ladies and gentlemen. Real books. Real book. And he also mentioned his Amazon. And I just so happen to have that link right here. So if you guys want to go and check out The Fear of Moncroy, click that link. And and now that I dropped the link, I'm actually going to announce the giveaway. So I have a box. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have a box, right? And the box is cool because inside of the box, and I've had this here for months, and I couldn't figure out a proper way to do it because I want to do giveaways in a good way. But these are the first 2 books that he has written, and I have 3 copies of each, right? So there's a set. So The Assassin of Malcozé, which I've read and finished, which I really enjoyed, and The Treasure of Lorev. And then I have to set stuff down and hopefully not kill my computer. This is going to get really bad. These books are going to be ruined by the end of the show, guys, so it's fine. So it's like you're getting giveaway items, but you know, it's not like it'll be fine.
And
But
I
then,
believe
ladies
those are
and
signed
gentlemen.
too, as well.
Huh?
I
Yes.
believe those are signed as well. So.
I have not even cracked
remember
the
that.
covers to verify that because I was like, you know what? Because every time you open a book, you tend to bend, you bend the cover, and I don't want to do it. But ladies and gentlemen,
Well,
the other
and we
thing,
saw what happened to your other, that was
it was a
Assassin
doggo.
Malcozé, right?
But ladies and gentlemen, these are custom prints from the first 2 books that he sent, and so the giveaway, there will be 3 winners of the giveaway, and apparently this has been dropped at some point, so somebody's going to give a little bit of a. I'm sorry, I tried to keep it.
Character.
Yeah,
We'll
no,
cover that up.
it's my house.
drink
You're
with
lucky they ain't
character
get eaten up by a dog. And had they gotten eaten up by a dog, I'd have sent you a check or something. But ladies and gentlemen, so the giveaway. Here's how the giveaway is going to work. Here is how the giveaway is going to work. You're going to have to do 2 things. One of those things you may have already done, but here's how the giveaway works. You're going to click that Amazon link down below. You're going to buy the paperback book that I just linked down below, The Fear of Moncroy, right? You are then going to take a screenshot of the receipt or the confirmation page, right? Make sure that like your name is there, or your email is there, something that I can use to confirm it, right? You are then going to go and you are going to join my Gilded, right? Because you need to be over in my Gilded, and you are going to private message me the screenshot of your purchase of the Fear of Montcroy, right? And then once that's done, I want to see an updated picture of it in your hands, right? Why am I doing it in this convoluted way? One, I want to get this man some sales tonight. Two, I want to make sure you don't buy the book and then cancel the damn thing after you send me the thing, because I need to enter people's names into the drawings and get email addresses and stuff and get prepared for it. And then when I get the pictures, and again, that's the second part, is sending me a picture of his new book in your hand. And you guys are going to get, you guys, even if you don't have his first 2 books, this is a chance for you to own the entire collection and the custom artwork from Bryan Asher all in one go. You buy 1 book, you're going to get 3 books, or you have a chance to get 3 books, I should say, because there will be 3 winners, and then custom artwork that you can hang on your walls. So again, just so everybody knows, you're going to click that link down in the chat, which I just linked it again. You're going to go, you're going to buy. I want the paperback. Buy the paperback. That's one of my rules. Why? Because I believe in physical media, right? Because after this man's dies and somebody gets his copyright and they decide to go change all the, no, you've got the original book. His words will live forever. So you are going to have the paperback, okay? And then you are going to send me to enter it. You're going to send me your receipt, and then stop judging me. And then you're going to send me an updated photo of when it gets into your hands. Yes. And that is going to confirm that you guys are entering into the contest. And then I will choose 3 winners at random, and or however I want to. Yes! Oh my God, I love it!
Yeah. Yes. There's our first winner.
Is it your birthday?
Ladies and gentlemen, the king has descended from on high. He's come down to tell all of us that he now has a crown bestowed upon him by the glorious queen.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm getting. Yeah, I got it. I got it. Thank you.
I love your wife so much. Tell her we love her.
I will. I will. Thank you, dear.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah.
You know what I know what
thing on here.
You know what I love is that my wife would do the same thing. All right, so is everybody clear on the rules? Them's the rules. That's how you're going to do it. I need 2 pictures. I need you guys to join the Gilded. So I will link that Gilded down below if you guys are not there. You're going to join the Gilded, okay? You're going to go buy his book, the paperback. It's got to be the paperback. I need a confirmation that you bought it. That's going to enter you in, and then I want a picture after it's in your hands. And again, it's going to be a multi-step process on your guys' part, but that is how you guys are going to get or enter yourself into winning all 3 books and custom artwork from Bryan Asher, so that way we can celebrate the release of The Fear of Montcroy. And now I need to tell my wife that I need to buy it.
All right. I've also got a little curveball for you. And I'll be
no.
these your way.
No, come on. Don't throw it. Come on.
Don't worry. You're going to love this. So 1 grand prize winner will actually get a print that's 12 by 18.
Oh, man.
From Christian Angel's artwork for The Fear of Montcroy. I'll be sending that your way so they can get a custom print from that book, and they will also get the front cover. So 1 grand prize winner can get the front cover and a character.
Fantastic.
Okay, you're making this harder for me.
I'll send them to you. They're on their way to you, and then you'll just be able to throw them right in. You just cover up that old one.
Very cool. I'm going to enter this this contest, actually.
No, it's open for anybody. It's open for anybody. The only person that can't enter it is me, which sucks.
I'm excluding myself too, just because I want the fans to get as much swag as they can.
Yeah. No.
So, question: Can you buy? Is there a place to buy the prints?
Not yet. Christian Angel did the artwork for me, which is also this stuff back here. I have not put the prints on sale online yet. I'm looking for a way to do that, but I'm exploring my options at the moment. But that is something I want to do because I have so much custom artwork. I mean, I have so much custom artwork. So.
I'm going to ask this is going to be a stupid question. I should not put this out there in the ether because I know how absolutely busy you are. And I shouldn't put this out there in the ether. But
good.
with the amount of prints that you have, and I mean, you sent me, and I know you sent me like 3 of each or something like that, or just but an amalgamation of each. Obviously, you're making more. I mean, is there, you know, the Intercontinent trading cards coming? It doesn't have to be a trading card game, but just trading card. Just
I don't, but I have one better for you. So,
one better. You know, it's only my show. That's fine. It's fine. That's great. You know,
the trading cards would be awesome, but if you are coming to Emerald City Comic Con, I will have an exclusive at the convention that you can only get there at the moment. I have 3D printed characters from the book. So this is Karneth that you see right there behind you on the cover with the sword, the fencing sword. You can get him. You can also get Peregrine, the witch. This is her with her cauldron, and she'll actually have these are prototypes. So the conjuring, she'll have her conjuring staff in her hand as well. This is Countess Fiona, who is the big vampire lady behind you. So you can get her. She's got skulls on her base.
Pretty sure the chat's gonna love a big vampire lady. Anyway,
and then this is Davion, who's the guy right below Karneth. He'll have his axe as well, his double-sided axe. It's like the full-on double-sided axe. And then each one will be packaged, and they each come with their own role-playing card. So this tells you their abilities, their history, who they are, where they're from. And so I don't do a full character sheet so people can like roll and try different classes and play around. But any role-playing game you use, you can incorporate these characters as like either NPCs or companions, or you can play as them yourself. But they'll have full custom-made character cards and custom 3D printed characters at Emerald City Comic Con. So find my booth. It's a huge booth, and you can get yourself a custom printed character to use in your role-playing games.
Wicked.
Awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Richard, is it your birthday? Did that say?
Well, it's Sunday. Yes.
Sunday is your birthday. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is a fantastic day. Not only do we have the first guest ever, he's got a fantastic giveaway going on. He is pimping me out to shill his stuff, which, I mean, that's kind of normal for this stream, but we also have a fantastic birthday here. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to see the happy birthdays down in the chat for the King Richard, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who is building the infrastructure for the future of the Iron Age. So, ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday, Richard. I dare not ask, but how many years? How many years are we talking here?
Okay, that's
yes.
Yes, I love her so much. She's not allowed to meet my wife. They would influence each other.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
36.
You're shitting me.
Yeah.
Same age as me.
You do not look 30. I didn't realize you were that much older than I was.
Thank you, dear.
Wow.
Yes, I'm.
Wow.
I'm like right in between you two.
Such youngins,
actually. So.
Well, fantastic, man. Well, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. And it's on Sunday. So
yes, I'll actually be streaming Sunday, and I'm just going to be painting minis and hanging out. So,
yes,
yes,
Caitlin Zimmer, I am a baby. Oh man, so big announcement tonight, man. I've been really excited for this. So here's one thing that I am going to do, because I have not done it for anybody other than Bryan right now, and I need to find it here.
Oh, I should mention too, for people picking up the paperback, you're going to get 5 custom character illustrations inside the paperback book. So
all right,
there's a lot of artwork in the book too. Even
yeah,
if
I noticed that.
Extra
it's very
artwork.
great. Still got it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll kick this off here. So I finished the Assassin Malcozé because I found time to do it, and I started out the book. By the time I got to the end, I loved it. And I wrote it, and I sent a long like breakdown of what I liked to Bryan, and he goes, you know, it would really help me out if you were able to like even just copy what you said and just share it as a review. So I copied it, and I this is the only book review that I have left to this date. There will be more coming eventually. But allegedly, maybe, possibly, probably not. I don't. No, they will. But time is an ever fleeting thing, and I'm battling with that right now. But I'm trying to optimize my time as much as I can. I actually cleared 2 chapters of James Craig's book, so that's good. But nice. I want to read to you guys so you guys know what you could potentially win. And this is, and sadly, I think I'm the only 4-star review for Bryan because I am.
Oh, wow! What a great guy!
Yeah, everybody 5 stars. Guys got 83% 5 stars. I am the one 4-star review for him on Amazon.
That's fine though. That's fine though.
I am I'm a critical SOB.
Great.
I'm a critical SOB. Okay. So this is what I said about his book, and I mean a lot of this, and I had a lot of fun. And what's so bad about like when you're writing something, my wife is totally opposite. My wife, if she has time to sit down and write something, you know exactly how she feels, the enthusiasm, everything. When she's speaking, not so much. I'm total opposite. When I write stuff, did a kindergartner write this? But I emote with my voice, and so I want to take the opportunity to go through my review of The Assassin of Malcozé because I had such a blast with this book. And this is what I put on Amazon, and this is what you guys could potentially experience. The Assassin of Malcozé seems to be broken up into 3 parts. The first act being the introduction to the character. This runs roughly through the first 8 to 10 chapters. The second act runs roughly through up to chapter 19. And then obviously the third act finishes out the book. For Act 1, the pacing seemed much slower, character introductions, and a lot of dialogue with minimal action. I could tell in this act that the author was definitely figuring out his voice for the book. That is not a bad thing. That is just something that I noticed. By the second act, I could tell you definitely had more of a grasp on the way he wanted. So obviously there are some typos here because I sent this to Bryan. And then I copied it and edited it and made it a review. So there's going to be some typos. By the second, I could tell that he definitely had more of a grasp on the way he wanted to tell the story and started introducing more of the plot points that would lead to our characters to the final confrontation. The pacing throughout the second act seems to pick up with a little more action and more intrigue into the characters and their abilities. This is the point where I really became more interested than I was before. I really liked the pacing of the second act more so than the first. I'm not sure how to describe it other than that. There was a nice transition between the second act into the third one as far as pacing goes because of how the third act started with an intense action scene. And that is what I will call, for lack of a better term, the farmhouse scene. When you guys get to the farmhouse scene, that transition, you transition from Act 2 into Act 3 in the farmhouse. And that is done incredibly well. You are in the same scene and you go from one act to the other. And obviously there's a transition in chapters there, but that's something I didn't put in here. And again, why I want to tell you guys just my experience with the book. Okay. From this point on, I was intensely engaged. The character dialogue and how they handled the situations I thought was absolutely on point. I was curious as to how Bryan Asher was going to gather all of the characters into one location and make it natural for all of them meeting each other. And color me surprised, he pulled it off. I felt that he tied together the threads in a very good way for it being his first novel. Now, I may be going a little easy, but knowing it was the first novel was on my mind. The thing that really surprised me the most is that the character I favored by the end of the book was not the character that I was favoring throughout the rest of the book. When Matthew stepped up in the third act, it totally changed my mind on him. One more thing I will add here at the end. Early on, reading it as a book, I really struggled with getting into it. But there was a scene or two that made me think it would be a fantastic animated series. And once that thought entered my head, I started seeing it as less of a novel and more as a fantasy anime that I would be interested in watching. But like I've said many times before, I have always been more of a movie and TV guy myself. Outside of some spelling errors that were in the book, I really don't have a lot of bad to say. Overall, it is a great first outing for a young author. I could see the growth in the book from start to finish. Had the writing stayed the same and not gotten better as the story grew, I may have lost interest, but that was not the case. I always love seeing growth in a writer. It shows they care. So that is my review of The Assassin of Malcose, and it is the one that my puppy chewed up. So, but no. All right. So Bryan, because you did tell me when you first reached out, you wanted the feedback. What do you think? Am I on point? Am I off base a little bit here and there? What do you think?
No, that's very fair. I think those criticisms are very fair. My first book, like many first books, it's a start and stop process when you haven't really built the muscle to get from A to Z. It takes a little while to really turn that corner. And for me to hear you say like those specific things about, the transition between the first and the final act, it makes sense because that's, sort of the journey I took to get the book complete. And like probably from about where you found it interesting towards the end is all of the stuff that I really wrote sequentially as I was really like focusing to get the book done in the summer of 2020. So that does make sense. And that is a fair criticism. And I'm glad I was able to turn a corner before you got bored. So that is actually a very positive thing for me. So happy with that.
I will say this, there was a gradual step up in the pacing as the story went on, which I think is really, especially when you do, and I don't know if you intended for a 3-act structure.
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good then. That means I'm not a total moron. But what that tells me is that when you're gradually escalating, not just the story and the plot threads and the pacing, not just the story and the plot threads, but the pacing. So that as you're reading it, you feel like you started off as a walk and then a jog, and now you're in kind of more of a run to get to the end. I liked that pacing because you didn't take too much time. You're like, here's my setup. Let's be slow with the setup. Let's introduce the characters slow, and then let's introduce the plot. And that's one thing I really liked about, and I didn't say it here. I liked about the second act that you introduced the plot. You kind of hinted at it in the first act, but the second act, I really felt like you're like, okay, here's the plot, here's where we're going, here's what we're doing. So you get character introduction and then the plot introduction, and then you almost introduce the plot as a character in and of itself. And I could be wrong on that, and maybe that's just how I interpret it, and most likely that is. But was that an intentional thing? Like, was that how you wanted to do it, or did you realize that people would pick up that way, or what?
I think it's a mixture. Part of it was that when I was first writing the story, I was introducing the characters to myself, figuring out really where I wanted them to go. And I did actually have to go rewrite, I think it was chapter 2, the introduction for Torong the boy. I actually had to completely rewrite that chapter to make it better because the original chapter was absolute garbage. I had to completely scrap that. But
you can tell in the beginning of the book there were some growing pains, and that's
yeah, that one I had to completely
Always
rewrite.
is.
Yeah, and I think what happened was I really figured out what my outline process was, and everybody's a little bit different, but really for me, because I'm trying to write things that are in this really small 250 page area. I think my longest book is The Treasure of Lower Rev, which is like 270 maybe. But what I did is
not a bad page count.
No, I try and keep them short because I think there's, I've said this before, but I like the pulp model as a template where you're taking these slices, and if there's like a stack of books on a shelf that are all for me, that you could just pick whichever one you want, But anyways, going back to the outline process, I started outlining in moments. And so everything would be like, oh, here's character does X, character does Y, character does Z. And then when I started outlining in moments, it's very easy to create that strong pace. because every chapter matters. There is no chapter that's filler. And that's, I'm sure Daniel, who read this book, can tell you, like, everything on this started with that chapter moment style. And so every chapter is a very specific moment, and nothing is fluff. So
It sets up a great flow.
And that leads me into my next question. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know this, I was actually setting up a question. And that whole long thing, here's my review of his book, here's what I think about it, here's the back and forth. It's fantastic, right? And it was all leading to, how do you feel your journey has been since your first book to this book? Where's your confidence level at? Where do you feel that you've gotten stronger? Where are you at? First book to third book. Tell me how that journey's been.
That's a really interesting question. I guess from a business standpoint, I'll just kind of touch on each piece. From the business aspect, I initially knew that I would be like getting my legs under me, learning. You have to learn by doing. So I knew that with like my first two books, like my first book, huge learning experience. My second book, I tried to correct all the mistakes from that, and I definitely think it was better. And then from my second to my third, obviously, again, trying to correct. And my model was, investing a lot. I invested a ton, obviously, in this art. This was not cheap. So I've kind of gone through that. When I tell people, and I don't know, their heads explode, but it is what it is. He does Magic the Gathering art, and to me, it was 100% worth it, because this cover has gotten me 2 signings at local Barnes & Noble in Seattle and in Tukwila. They're interested in my books because of this cover. Yeah. So that's huge.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So business side, it's huge investment. And then I'm hoping that over time, I want it to, like, I don't plan that it'll like break big or something out of nowhere, but I just want to start paying for itself. Like, I'm hoping everything I invest into this, it'll make enough. And then it'll just be like, okay, I can save up enough, to pay for the next one. Like, this was basically saving all the money I'd made for Comic-Cons. That's how I pay for this, and working a bunch of overtime. So,
hey, I know overtime.
Yeah, you do. You did shift work,
dude. So, I used to live on overtime.
Yeah,
people are like, I only want to work 40 hours. I'm like, can I get 80, please?
Yeah. Oh man, to pay for my honeymoon, I stood on a lot of street corners, flagging a lot of traffic. So.
Yup.
Or the border. But as far as my
that takes on a whole new meaning when you and I have done what we've done, man. There you go.
From the author side, though, I would say that my ability to finish the books has gotten a lot better, and my ability to have a real writing process has gotten way better. Like this book, I had to take a huge break just because I had my second baby in February.
Hey!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes.
It's been a bit. 2022 was nuts for me, man. So.
Oh man, congratulations, a February baby. What day, if you don't mind me asking? If you do,
February 16th.
Oh, okay. My daughter is the 18th. My oldest is the 18th. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So fantastic, man.
So yeah. So then process has gotten better, and I think I've kind of figured out how to iron everything out. So. That has been the huge journey for me as far as like author wise. Like if I was doing this full time, I could probably get 2 to 3 books out a year easy, with a comic book in between. But with a full time job, I can only do about 1 a year. So
there you go.
Yeah, that's still great though.
May I interrupt the conversation for just a moment, gentlemen, because this is actually something pertinent, and I'm going to do it in the chat. But Kikomon for $20, and that is
thank you, sir.
And I do have to interrupt here. Can you start a poll for who has the best beard? We know who will lose. New ADWC mechanic, Iron Age Knights. Wait. New ADWC mechanic, Iron Age Knights. Likes equals days of no beard trimming for Royce. Make Royce Gandalf.
I agree. I fully support that.
No.
Yes.
All right. I will do the poll because I said that we will do the poll. So let's start a poll. I'm going to have to add some options here. Okay. And we are going to do who has the best beard. All right. So I guess my name should be what? IA Booty Daddy? Is that what? Okay, so IA Booty Daddy.
IA Baby Face.
Right? Yeah, it might as well. But no, everybody's like, "Oh, you went clean shave," and I'm like, "No, I'm not allowed. It doesn't show up on camera, but if I don't at least leave like some version of a 5 o'clock shadow, my wife is like, go away." All right, let's do King Richard next because he has a fancy nickname. Daniel, I don't have a fancy nickname for you. I don't know.
All right.
We'd call you the Eyebrow.
What? Hold on. There was one a week or two ago that
what was it?
That irritated him. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I don't remember either. All right, and we'll just call.
Oh
we'll
yeah,
say Bryan.
it was. Yeah, it was Sleek P.
Slick P.
Yeah, there you go.
Slick.
P. There we go.
All right.
Slick P. Riley.
Slick P. Riley. Let's do it. Slick P. Riley. Bryan, you're just gonna be Bryan Asher for this one, and we are gonna ask the community
Bryan Asher,
who has the best beard out of everybody. So there's the poll down below. So yes, you guys can go and you guys can vote on that. Maji Chan has a quick question here. And I am operating a little bit differently tonight because you have been on before. And honestly, the flow of the conversation feels differently this evening. Maji Chan says, think you could shill/sell. Yeah, shill is my version of just, market yourself. The minifigures on Gilded. Do you think you'd be selling the minifigures, and do you think you'd be able to sell them on my Gilded? So Maji Chan is kind of doing somewhat of a shill for my Gilded there.
They're going to be a con exclusive because this is a friend who has a 3D printer. So I have to go to him for every batch, and it's a very custom local thing. So unfortunately, it's just for the cons at the moment, only due to friend production capability issues.
Those are resin printed, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get thyself to the convention if you want one.
Get thyself to the Emerald City. Where is that one at?
The Seattle Convention Center downtown.
Oh shit.
The Summit Building, and then I'll be at FanX Utah and Salt Lake City, and I'll try and bring these to that as well. And that's in September, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I want to grow this big enough that we can do an Iron Age convention. We can rent out a small hall.
Yes,
have people come over, bring all the authors out. Everybody gets a booth. Like I pay for the room. And everybody gets to set up, and then all the authors can come out with the books and give discounts to people buying your stuff. And then we just, basically have a great time. And that would be my favorite thing to do. That's where I want this to go.
Yeah, I've been talking with Daniel a little bit about there's a H-Town Comic-Con down here in Houston, and they
wanted to homie out to the crowd.
I know there's some pretty big booths that you can get for less than $1,000. So I was gonna kind of float the idea. So if there's enough Texans or people who want to fly to Houston, hit me up in the Gilded.
I was just in San Antonio. I'd go back to Texas.
All right.
Yeah. And Darkest Multiverse, he goes to a bunch of cons too. So you want a guy to go and help out. I mean, that's the thing is we have the force behind our community here. We could run a con. We really could. We need to grow a little bigger, but we have the force of nature that is in the community that we have is insane. That energy is crazy. And it's part of the reason why I wake up as soon as we go live and the chat starts going. You can feel that, and it's fantastic.
Yes.
Kikomon says he'll provide Kikomon packets for $2. Thank you so much, Kikomon. All right, so
free soy sauce with every purchase.
Free soy sauce with every purchase. So, gentlemen, I've asked quite a few questions, and I haven't left much room for else because
the man needs to talk about his new book.
He does. Well, I'm okay. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
He's got to talk about his new book. I have to give away his old books. There's a lot I got to work with here. I've got books here that dude, my wife was almost like, We should just be like, hey, we can't do the giveaway and keep the art. I'm like, Baby, we can't do that. Because my
I
wife
can give her
like,
some art. It's all
no,
good.
it's fun. No, you've already done. Dude, we loved the art. There were a few pieces in there that we wanted to frame and hang up, and I'm like, nope, baby, I've got to do it. It's for the giveaway.
The library, that's your favorite.
Yep.
The library is because I remember that scene. There is. And I don't know if you have it in here because I haven't. I've been trying to gingerly handle everything, so I haven't. I don't know if I even looked at everything. The only scene that I think I like more than the library is the farmhouse. The farmhouse that transitions between 19 and 20. I think that's the only scene that really I saw. I see in my mind that's like my favorite. That's my favorite scene in the whole book is that farmhouse scene. And the way, and okay, just let me gush for a second, guys. He's got a third book. We're going to talk about his first book.
We're gonna let you talk. We're gonna let him talk, but first,
the way that you handled the adults versus children and the dialogue and the interactions in between chapters 19 and 20, that I sold, done. That really is when I went, okay, he's picked up his pace. He came into what?
I think he froze.
Oh no, did he freeze? Oh no, he froze. Bryan, he froze.
We lost him.
He fell asleep, actually. He's not frozen, he just powered down.
Probably a good thing we didn't catch him mid. But the way that Bryan handles chapters 19 to 20 and it is utterly fantastic. It's great. The way that he handles the adult interactions between the like I guess the teenager interactions, absolutely fantastic. The dialogue is on point. The character interactions are on point. It's there. It's awesome. Have you guys had a chance to read Assassin Malcozé?
Not yet.
No, but I'm about halfway through the Fear of Montcroix.
Yep.
And
how did you get it already?
Somebody sent it to me.
Oh, I see how.
Yeah, I haven't given him a bad review yet. So,
oh, is that how this works? It's like, if you give me a 5-star review, I'll send you the book.
Well, I haven't given him a 5-star review. Maybe anyway, never mind. But,
I didn't think 4 stars was bad.
I know.
It's not.
Giving you a hard time. But no.
Good night, TSBOL.
Good night. But yeah, it's very fast moving. I was like, I don't know, because I think I got it on Tuesday or something like that, Monday or Tuesday, and I opened it and I was like, man, I do not know if I'm gonna be able to make it through this thing or very far into this by Friday, but I was able to cruise right through quite a bit of it, and found myself, just looking forward to reading it, and maybe staying up a bit too late to read one chapter and then read another. So I'm very curious where the story goes. I feel like the plot has already taken a couple of turns that I didn't expect. I don't know. I think that, vampires have been a pretty well explored fantasy trope in the past couple decades, I guess. And so I was like, oh, all right, well, how is this going to be? And I was like, well, I think it's like, okay, well, this is but it's taken several very interesting turns and had a very unique style to it. So
welcome back.
Yeah, I have.
Are you done meditating?
I have to hotspot off my phone. I don't know what happened, but my whole internet just exploded.
Oh, dude, I hate that.
Yeah, so luckily I am hotspotted off the phone for now, and hopefully it continues to work.
So, A.S. Bruner, what age range would be able to read these books? I can say after reading his first book, I would put it in the hands of any of my kids, as long as they had obviously the linguistic, capability to read and understand what's going on. Yeah, there's a couple of bad words, but nothing worse than what they hear me say.
It's like
I was going to say,
it's like a Marvel PG-13 is what I go with.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like
I was going to say 13 and up is probably the correct age range.
I'm 10 to 11 and up. Yeah, there's some cuss words in there, but a strong tend to because I don't know how. Again they hear their dad say a lot worse. So that's just my house. You cuss around your children? Yes, I do. Shut up. So, all right. I'm going to turn over the questions because I got done gushing about your book and then you meditated, and that's fine. I'm really, really glad that I actually took a moment to gush there and you weren't in the middle of like an answer. Like, oh, God works in mysterious ways. Mm-hmm. So, guys, what questions do you have for Bryan? Obviously, Richard, you're going through it. Daniel, you're thinking about it someday, maybe. I don't know what you're doing.
I already read the whole thing because I edited it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I would also love to have you read the synopsis of the story if you're interested too.
I can do that. Yes, because you did. You did send that to me.
That way people have something to prime their questions with a little bit.
Should I put my dramatic reading voice on?
Of course.
100%.
Okay, my dramatic reading voice. Okay. All right, dramatic reading voice. Great. Oh, come on. I need this to open up a little bit more. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to copy and paste this into a Word doc real quick, so that way I can actually not have to scroll, because that would be fantastic. And I just so happen to have a Word doc open. It's my handy dandy Word doc that I literally post all my links and stuff in. Oh, and it posted it like that. I hate that. All right. Dramatic reading time, ladies and gentlemen. And this is from The Fear of Moncroy. Bryan Asher's new book. You should go. You should go do the buy thing. You should go buy his book. Why? Because if you buy his book, you get a chance to win his first 2 books and the custom artwork and apparently grand prize winner artwork that he's going to send to me. And now I got to... Anyway, it's a lot of work for me. So if you guys want to make more work for me and watch me suffer and squirm, you should go buy his book, because, you know, that's... My chat's awesome. All the Waywards have fallen. After a mission against Royal Vampiric Court goes horribly wrong, all of the Waywards are slaughtered. All except one. Davion, the last surviving member, must consume potions to mask himself and hide amongst the very people who killed his brethren. After a decade of living this double life, Davion has resigned himself to his new purgatory. But all will not remain calm for him or the court. An unknown swordsman arrives, and after killing several royal vampires, rumors spread that he's searching for anyone still belonging to the Wayward Order. Davion decides he must track down this mysterious swordsman. But will finding him bring freedom or his own demise?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I like it. I like that. Interesting. Okay, not gonna ask too many questions because
go for it.
No, well, I'm just like, how a regular dude hide in vampires? Do they not smell? Are these not the smelly kind of vampires where they use their noses and stuff, or like?
Well, like described in the blurb, it's the potions that are masking him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You see, if I would have paid attention to what I was reading instead of just trying to do a dramatic reading, I would.
Mm-hmm. Well, I actually have a question about the magic system, and if you can go into where you came up with that, and if you want to talk about that at all,
yeah.
if it's too much of a spoiler.
No, not at all. So the way the magic works for this world is the Montcroy, it's like all my areas are these big floating nations. And so there's 2 spots to Montcroy. There's like Q-Lair, which is like kind of the main beautiful city that everybody gets to travel in and out of. And then the rest of it is walled off. It has this big wall all the way around it that basically keeps the rest of it away from the main area. And that area is known as like the Midland. It's like all this stuff. And so the vampires have their own area called Vestige down to one way, and then the Wolven tribes have one area, and the swamps are owned by like the witches and warlocks. So everybody who has powers, witch, warlock, vampire, werewolf, they're all what's called snared. to the spirits of Montcroy. And so a good example, I've got this one here. You can kind of see on his sword, but there's like magical rings that go around. I'm trying to watch my finger on the screen at the same time, but there's like these little magical rings that go around that kind of look either like Full Metal Alchemist transmutation circles or like Doctor Strange magic. And so once you tether your spirit or your soul to the spirits through this snare, it gives you some form of enhanced power. You don't really have a choice kind of where you're going to be. And then once you are, you can kind of turn more people into you. But so all the vampires have a snare, the wolves have a snare, witches, warlocks do. And then there was a select group of humans that had snares. Those were the Waywards, and they were the only people who had figured out how to do it without turning. But once they were all killed, no one else was able to uncover that secret. So your physical capabilities are enhanced, or you're given some like monstrous talents through that snare from the spirits that live inside Montcroy.
And the Waywards had a sort of druidic feel to them. At least that's what I had gathered from reading the beginning. So it was almost like their particular snare was to tether to the nature of the land, which I thought was kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah, so everybody's snare kind of like impacts them differently. So it's, but yeah, and there's different magic within. And the snares, so like if you're a vampire, your snare will have like red rings that run through it. So that shows that you are vampiric versus other different snares that you could have. But that's where the magic comes from for that world, outside of like spells and cool stuff that the witches and warlocks do. So
very cool. So this is a broader question about your entire Intercontinence universe. Is that kind of magic anywhere else on any of the other intercontinents, or okay? So
it's just tied to Montcroy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So each book so far, because I've only read this one, each one of the books has kind of its own. What would you call it? Not necessarily magic systems, but also kind of like its own technology systems and everything else.
Yeah.
But there is some communication and interplay between these.
100%.
To what extent is is there ever going to be a future that you have in mind where you're bringing a bunch of people from a bunch of different intercontinents together?
I think that's a possibility. I'm still kind of playing it slow. There's only like little crosses. Like for instance, in my first book, there is a girl who transfers, like she comes from, obviously she lives in Culair, but she comes from Montcroy and lives in Malcozé, and she befriends like two of the younger characters. In the Treasure of Lorev, there's actually a gas station attendant in an area that is like, there's basically this area that was meant to be a resort, and then it just got left to die. And so it's been taken over by these like gangs and stuff out in the middle of nowhere in the desert. And there's like a gas station attendant there that is Malcozéan, and he kind of got like exiled, and so he moved out there and is running this like gas station out in Lower Rev. So there's like little stuff like that, but I haven't done anything major, like any major large crossovers. Just to I want to build the world slowly, and I don't think I'm at a point popularity wise where if I did any major crossovers, I feel like it would be too jarring for the reader. So I try and do like little things, like another example would be in Lore Rev. There's these two characters and they're talking in this like boardroom meeting, and she's talking about Malcozé and tea, or like these different things that let people know they all know about each other, but it's not like overwhelming for the reader, because again, being like newer, it's too hard for me to be like, oh, boom, here's this MCU. People are like, what are you talking about? Even Sanderson, he's only now just merging the worlds, and that dude's like massively popular. So I think it's more of like waiting on that type of stuff.
Yep. And you'll get to it, but there is a reference to Lorev, I believe, in Fear of Montcroy.
Yeah. Also, the story on your website, the short story I did, there's a character from that is also featured in this book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's in there too. So there's always little. I always try and throw little references so that people pick them up, but I never want it to be too much. Like the journey that Karneth takes, who's one of the main characters, he's the one with the fencing sword. He's actually the son of a character who dies in the Assassin of Malkozeh. And I'm okay saying that he dies because, like, if you read the chapter, you know this guy's going to get it, so it's not a problem. But he's like the son of him, and so his dad was actually a wayward who had to like leave, and all those pieces tie together. But again, if you only read one book, you won't be lost at all. But if you read both books, you'll catch those Easter eggs. So that's the way I like to do it, where you can kind of pick up on this stuff if you read more, but you're never lost if you only read one book.
Yep.
Very cool. You know, and you had a couple of drops in the Assassin of Malkozeh for Lorev. There was a guy from Montcroix in Assassin of Malkozeh as well, and especially the old guy who had something that kept him up to date with what was going on in Lorev, and I'm not going to give that away, but that immediately jumps out to me, and how you were already in your first book thinking about these small little ways to just now, if you didn't know in the first book that there's this other world out there, you wouldn't have caught it. I had the benefit of talking with you, obviously, in Iron Age #1, Iron Age Knights #1, which is awesome. But I had the benefit of talking with you and kind of understanding how you were building this out. And so I was looking for those. And when I read them, and they were later on but they're definitely not in the beginning of the book. They're definitely Act 2, Act 3, the more prominent ones that I can, that jumped out in my mind. And that made me really excited to go, oh, wow, I love how you're doing that, because you are doing that slow build. And okay, I'm going to put a lot on you right now, but I see you as the guy that, like, 10, 15, 20 books in, however long you can keep this up, however, like, you've built the story in these 3 different continents, right? You've got the 3, and then all of a sudden there's this one book where the things just tie together, and it could be a side story, right? It could be, the adventures of the intercontinents, or the intercontinent super squad, or whatever name you decide to go with.
Yeah.
But it could be, I see that you're building that. You're like, no, let's get these three different stories running parallel to each other, because they're all in the same time. Mm-hmm. And that's what was so cool, is there, again, that guy who had that thing for those news updates in the Assassin of Malkozeh was listening to what was going on in the Treasure of Lorev. And when that paragraph happened later on in the book, in like the third act, it is the third act, close to the end of the third act, I was like, oh, I want to pick up that book and read it now. And it was because I knew that it was happening, and I love that you're doing that. And I mean, I'm not a marketing person, but I think if you market that, like, look, if you pick up one book and you know that there are other books that I have, you're going to look for the Easter eggs. Even if you haven't read the book, look for it to see if that wets your whistle a little bit. And it did. And it was really well done.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So,
yeah, it's hard to do when I'm a nobody author, because I'm like, who's going to care about these other books?
A drink with crazy.
I'm working on it.
A drink with crazy cares about the books.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been interesting. This book was like very special too, because I always had in my mind that I would have this cycle of like these 3 intercontinents. I specifically said, okay, I'm going to do all 3 of them. And these are the ones I want to introduce. So to me, this is almost like the first cycle. Like, this shows you like the broad overview of what my world can give you. You get a little bit of horror, you get a little bit of fantasy, you get a little bit of sci-fi, and like, okay, here's like the plate. And then now I can really go crazy with it. I mean, there's a lot of different stories that I'm working on now, so that eventually I'll be able to get to. But, and there is a comic book actively being drawn right now. So that's really exciting. So awesome. Eventually I'll be able to get that up on Kickstarter. It's going to be a solo story with Karneth. That's before this book, but it'll be a complete self-contained story. That's another big like promise I try and do with my readers, is that if you pick up anything, you get a full story. Like, I believe what Jim Shooter said about 1 unit of entertainment. And so if you buy it, you're getting a full piece of entertainment. You don't have to worry about like 80 million other things to be able to enjoy that one unit of entertainment. So.
Man, that's so refreshing. That's awesome.
The step ahead of me, that's for sure.
It probably hurts my sell-through, but I don't care.
No, I don't think it does. I don't think it does because that's how do you think DC and Marvel built up to where they are?
It used to be that way.
They used to be that way. The crossover, and then they were like, oh, the crossovers sell big money, and then it was every other month it's a crossover, and then all of a sudden the crossover stopped selling big money because it's like it's not special anymore.
Boring.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed too is like if you go in, let's say you go in Barnes & Noble, right? They're the main big new bookstore because all the Amazon ones, they're gone. So you go into Barnes & Noble. If you're an adult, try and find an area for fantasy or sci-fi or horror that has a large section of books that are quick reads that you can just pick any one you want, right? Like, why can I go to a used bookstore and find a whole row of like Louis L'Amour Westerns and Elric books and Conan and all this stuff, and I could pick up any one I want, but I can't find that in a new bookstore. That's wild to me. For an adult, not YA, but for an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And I think one of the things that one of the things that I asked you, like, where do you start? Like, you got all these books, where do you start? And like what? Because you got all these things you're coming out with it, and I think if I remember correctly, you said, look, I'm just going to kind of do these 3 main stories, but just start with the first book of that story because it's just that's your game plan. And I was like, wow, simple, easy to understand, easy to jump into. This is the first, because you're going to have the Assassin of Malcozé, which is book 1 of the Malcozé series. Then you're going to have the Treasure of Lorev, which you're going to have to start putting those on your book spines and stuff, or like a start here for, if you keep doing this. But the fact that these 3 books, it doesn't matter which one I pick up. I could have started with the Treasure of Lorev. I could have. And I knew that I could have. But it's also your first book. So I wanted my shot at your first book. And I like that I wasn't tied down to one, I have to start here and then I have to go here and then no. It's, and you're building this broader thing. And that's just, that's really cool. Sorry, I'm gushing a little bit.
Oh, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. This has been a super tough.
No, it's a good thing to gush about, right?
It means a lot.
King Bob has entered himself into the contest.
Oh, nice.
King Bob, it's arriving Wednesday, the Fear of Moncroy. So King Bob is entered into the contest. And then Kikomon also entered into the contest as well. It's arriving Monday.
Appreciate it.
And so when they have it in their hands. So you have 2 purchases from this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, go over to the Gilded if you guys want to enter into the contest to win his first 2 books. And I wanted to give that announcement there. But yeah, so guys, go enter, join my Gilded. That's how you send me the messages. That's how you private message me. Go buy his book, The Fear of Moncroy. And you guys are going to win some fantastic artwork. I'm so pissed because I can't be a part of it. Like,
am I able to?
You gotta get a store up.
By the way, am I able to screen share at all, or is it easy?
Yeah, no, you totally screen share.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull this off.
So yeah, you have to hit the present button, and then if there's any audio, but no, you can totally. Of course, you can screen share.
Cool. Okay.
It's your show tonight, man. Of course, you can.
Let me see if I can get a specific window up here. Might take a second, so.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. It's.
We'll do this if it works. Okay.
Yep,
so it's gonna be a world within a world here until we get it up. So that's the act.
World.
There we go. Hopefully it's showing the cover now.
Yes. Oh,
yes, very beautiful.
So good.
So that is the cover for everyone interested in the book there. And then if you're interested in the characters, this is some of the illustrations that you will find throughout the book. So this one, you only have to get to chapter 2 to get to see him enact that. So, and also some stuff behind the art. Christian was actually really smart because when I was trying to get this illustration done for him, he originally, and this is how cool of a guy he is. So he, for what I paid, it was basically like a character with a vignette. And he loved the idea of the fact that this sword turns vampires to stone. That it can, so if he stabs people, he can twist the sword and the snare turns them to stone. And so he loved that so much that he said, I won't charge you extra, but I will have him killing another character for you. And so he drew him killing the vampire for me, which was super cool. This is probably my other favorite one. This is the Forest Witch, Peregrine. So yeah, this is her calling up all the vines. She actually gets a full fight scene in the book. And all of these illustrations are within the text. So they are events that are currently happening, unlike my previous two books where they're like standalone images. These are like actual events. For instance, Yaspin here, he'd be here tonight. He's drinking. This is him at his hideout. He is a defanged vampire who was exiled and now runs the biggest smuggling ring on Montcroix, which is super cool. And then this is Countess Fiona. She is vampire royalty, and these are the hunting masks. And these masks allow them, and you also saw it on the banner behind me that she's holding, but these masks allow them to project false images. So humans think they're being hunted by monsters, and they don't know that the vampires are actually hunting them in secret. And then this is the snare that Davion and any other snared soul has around their hands. And he actually had the idea to have it wisp around like this too, which is super, super cool. And this is him in his armor before his final battle. So all of that is featured in the book.
Oh my God. I love
I don't know how to
your
stop
artwork and the way
so.
that your artist is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
So
there we go. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah.
So no.
And just so everybody's aware, the witch's battle scene is my favorite battle scene in the whole book.
Oh, cool. That was a lot of fun to write.
I loved it.
So my wife had a lot of good input on that one too. She helped me on my first draft. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, I'm about to ruin everything. Don't.
Yeah, she actually had me. She had me make that scene longer before I sent it to you. She said that the witch needed to shine a little bit more. So she got a little more shine in that scene because she
shined perfectly.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a huge fan of Peregrine. So yeah.
Me too.
So no, I love what your artist does because where is?
So yeah, you have all that work from the Mealis, who, man, I've been trying to track that guy down. I missed that guy. He was really, really, really
dude,
fantastic.
He is utterly fantastic. Like his artwork, and I obviously can't do a solo mode right now because I'm really trying not to fuck up the artwork that people are going to win.
That was the first character Emilius ever sent me. So I emailed him at like 11 p.m. our time, which he was in Lithuania, so it was like 10 a.m. or whatever. And that was the first illustration he ever did. Oh yeah, that's the villain from the second book there. So
no, but these are all the prints. Like what I have in my hands are going out to people, and then obviously you have these full blown. I mean, just these are gorgeous. These are gorgeous.
Yeah,
and
he did such a good job on that. So
yeah, well, and that's and like you sent this to me. You're like, hey, I'm sending you a care package, and then you were like, hey, do this for a giveaway on your channel. I'm like, how the hell am I going to do this? And then when you were like, oh, I've got this book coming out, and I'm like, and you've been keeping me up to date with it, and I was like, this is how I'm going to do it. Go buy, if you guys want to be a part of this in a way that a lot of other people can't. If you want to be that awesome collector, make sure, guys, seriously, Amazon link in the chat. Go buy. It's $14 for the paperback. Buy the paperback. Make sure it's the paperback because physical media means something. Go buy the paperback. And you guys are going to get custom prints. You guys are going to get copies of his other books. So even if you haven't bought his other books and you want his other books, so you go buy a book that I'll have 3 winners and then a grand prize winner that apparently is going to have some other custom prints. So that's going to be hell on me because
I believe too on the ones that I sent to you that I put a special message for the YouTube channel with the signature, I think too. So it's something specific to this. So anybody who has that copy, they're like specifically signed for this show. I believe so. So
yeah, and I haven't opened the books again because I don't want to ruin I don't want to bend the covers and the spines. I haven't even opened the books yet because I know you said you did that, but I don't know. I want to keep them in good condition as I can, because we've seen what happens with books in my house. I was so sad. I was like, oh, I'm really excited for Bryan to come on, and the puppy ate part of the book. Well, like not ate it, but well, no, he ate part of the book. Like the day.
That's why I wore my dog shirt today.
You know, he is a white doggo, just like that.
Really? That's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's a Great Pyrenees mix, is what he is. So
love it.
No, man, I'm so glad that you're putting together a different variety of stories. And I remember asking you in the first time you were on, why a medieval fantasy world, then kind of more of a modern world, and now obviously a different kind of a darker, like vampiric world. Why have this universe where you're doing all these different stories? And I know you already gave the answer to that, obviously, in the first episode, which I could tell everybody go back, but we have a bigger audience now. We have a different audience. So why the different elements of the world? Why these different continents that have such different cultures on them?
Two reasons. One is that my brain is weird and I have to jump to different stuff. So literally the night that I finished The Assassin of Malcozé, my brain was so desperate to do a sci-fi story that I immediately started writing The Treasure of Lorev like that night because I just really had this like pull to write a sci-fi story. And then once I had finished that, my original plan was actually to do the Malcozé book, Lorev book, then another Malcozé book, then Montcroy book, then another Malcozé book. But once I actually got done with The Treasure of Lorev, I just really felt the story, like this specific story, really like pulling me, and it was feeling really real. And so I just knew that I had to do it. And so I'm kind of in that phase now where it's weird for me because now that I've done these three, it's like, where do I go next? And I have like a Malcozé and a Lorev story simultaneously in my head, pushing forward at the same time. And so I may actually do a dual book writing. I may actually try writing both at the same time and kind of see which one, takes me, or I may try and do both. But we'll see.
Ooh.
So we'll see what happens, but it's very ambitious. So I may not get them done, and the comic may be the only thing that comes out towards the end of 2023. But I try and come out with one new piece of entertainment every year. So
I kind of had the same thing when I was working on what I was doing, because I finished the Tales of Halcyon all one after the other. And so it was all fantasy all the time. There's a little tiny bit of sci-fi in it, but it's really not that prevalent, so it didn't count. And then I actually started working on a steampunk Western because I wanted to do something radically different. But like 2 chapters into writing the steampunk Western, I started to kind of lose the plot that I was working on. And I'm like, this isn't working. I'm going to set it aside. And G Sedai was the next thing in my mind, and I'm working on G Sedai. And then while I'm working on G Sedai, my brain went, "You want to do superheroes? Screw this samurai nonsense." And I'm like, "No, I love the story. Focus." But I kept thinking about the superhero thing, and that's where Legacy Heroes came from. So you can't really. I don't think I've spoken to an author who just writes in one genre at all times. Like everyone that I've talked to either is working on short stories in different genres or just flexing that imagination muscle in different directions.
Yeah. I think it's probably common more now. Maybe before it was different when people kind of stuck in one lane, but even it's like Solomon Kane and Conan are completely different characters. So now they're kind of similar as far as fantasy, but really they're very different stories. So I think it's always been around. I think now it's just more prevalent because people are seeing more content that jumps genres. And I mean, the MCU is lame now, but when it was first getting up and running, I mean, it was a big difference between what you saw that happened in Captain America and what happened in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yet those things are the same. So though that universe taught like mainstream people how to accept like these type of universes. So I think now you're getting all these people jumping into reading and fantasy and all that stuff. We're like, oh, it's cool that these places are different. It doesn't matter because you can have these different worlds. And so it's helping people like understand how to accept universes that are very different in different books.
True.
I don't disagree. And it's interesting that people don't. It's interesting that the stories out there like that prior to this just died off at some point. I mean, even up through the 90s, a lot of authors could write various different things, and you followed the authors and you followed, what they were doing and how they could tell a story. And then all of a sudden it became, well, can I follow? And it didn't necessarily becoming following an author anymore. It became following a product at some point in time. Yeah. And that's why I tell people, like, this show here, what we're doing here, my job is not to sell the author's books. Although I've done that a few times for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
My job is to sell the author to you. My job is to put the author in front of you. Hopefully ask the right questions. Hopefully, and maybe sometimes I don't even have to ask questions. I mean, last week, R.H. Snow, fantastic guest. She's just a force of nature from Texas, right?
And
yes,
huh?
She did Royce's job for you.
It was awesome. God, it was great. Bryan, step up. Anyway, but my job is to sell the author to the audience. And the reason I want to sell the author, not his books, but the author to the audience. That's why I ask you about your journey from the start to finish. That's why I'm not hitting the story beats a lot. I want the people here now to get to know you and who you are, because I want them to build that connection with you so that way they naturally want to go and purchase your books. I mean, it's really easy to say, hey guys, we're doing a giveaway, go purchase the books, which I've got a few messages over here in the DMs. People are already sending me their screenshots of their purchases. So thank you guys.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So.
Want the author to connect to the audience. And that's my next question. How do you connect to the audience?
Interesting.
See how I did that?
Thanks for just throwing me out there, huh? I mean, for me, like the big one has been the conventions. I do a lot of in-person stuff. I mean, I was pushing to do in-person stuff. Unfortunately, my first book came out in 2020, and so they all kind of weren't there. But the best part about that was that my first con I got to do with 2 books, which was way better. But I do a lot of in-person events. I have 2 Barnes & Noble signings coming up, one March 18th in Tukwila, Washington, and one April 8th in Seattle, Washington. I'll be at Salt Lake for FanX. I'll be at Seattle for Emerald City Comic Con, and I'll probably be at Puyallup for Washington Summer Con, just trying to iron out some stuff on timing for that. But yeah, I'm constantly getting out in front of people. And anytime you come to my booth, I always do giveaways. So like at this booth that I have now, if you buy 1 book, you can get a small print. You buy 2 books, you can get a medium print. And then if you buy 3 books, you can actually get one of the big prints. So I always try and make it like an experience when you come to my booth and try out my stuff. My website has a bunch of different content. I have every podcast I've ever been on up there. I have my audiobook for The Assassin of Malcozé, which is now on Spotify for only $10. Super, super cheap. And I actually get a better royalty from Spotify than Audible. So get it through Spotify, please. And you can interact with me directly. Yeah. If you interact with me directly on my website, I always message back. I'm always interacting with all my fans, and I constantly come out with new content. So if you get invested into my world, you will get content consistently. You will not be left waiting for more content. So I always make that promise to the fans. I love it. I love it. I saw that comment there. Yeah, if you come to FanX, I'll have some role-playing characters at FanX. Who knows what other crazy crap I'll have available at FanX by then. That is September. And I'll have all my custom artwork. And so I'll have a bunch of stuff there. It'll be great. I love that show. That was actually my favorite con of all the cons I've done. I love the energy at FanX.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah, I've done Phoenix, Salt Lake City. I go all over the place. I'm a nutcase. I go to Phoenix, Salt Lake City, and Seattle, Puyallup, Tacoma. And maybe it was because it was my first one, but I love the energy. And the interesting thing about FanX compared to other conventions is there is a big reader community. So when people come to that convention, they really love to find readers, and a lot of authors go all out on their booths there. So it is really interesting. And I'll actually be there with another fantasy author, Aaron N. Hall. He is going to be there with all of his books. He's actually got a fantasy trilogy, a superhero comedy called Hammer Fist, which is really funny. I really love that book. It's very unique because we don't get those type of stories often. He does superhero comedy, and he's also got a short story collection. So he's got some really cool stuff, and we're doing a booth together, which is awesome. So nice. I can't wait. It'll be his first convention, so I'm breaking him in because I've done a lot, and this is his first one. He's asking me all these questions. I'm like, don't worry, dude. I got you. So yeah, we're going to be doing a booth together, and I'm stoked for it. So
that's great.
Sounds cool. I'll have to look into him.
Yeah. Eventually, I want to come down to Texas. I haven't made it down there to one of their cons, but I would like to make it down there. So, but Phoenix was really cool. I loved it. But I did have some learning experiences there. But it was really fun, and there's like a really fantastic author community there, and some really great people. Randy Lindsay, I believe, he has some amazing books. I want to get him in touch with you guys sometime because his stuff is like he's really good. And he's got this really cool book called Hellathon, which is about every so often they open the gates of hell and have a race to get out, and only one person gets out. It's super cool. So it's a really unique concept. Yeah, he's a badass dude. I love that guy. They have a YouTube channel called I think it's called The Right Advice, I believe. So yeah, Iron Con 2025. That's what we need. I love cons, man. So if you want to set up a con, I would love to do an Iron Age con. It'd be badass.
The goal is to build it. The goal is to build it.
Give me another year. We'll see.
I'm working on it.
My goal will be to annoy Royce the whole time. Everybody else is going to have these incredible booths with pictures behind them and banners and stuff laid out all over the place. I'm going to have a plain table with my books just set out.
No, you won't.
And a piece of line paper that says "I don't chill," and I'm just gonna sit in a chair behind it like this.
I'll get a megaphone.
Oh man, the whole part, the best part of the convention is to just talk to people. Like I love coming up and telling people about my world, even if they don't buy my books. It's just such a fun. That's the best part, is getting to chat with everybody. So
that's the fun part. Yes, I don't like trying to sell people stuff.
Oh, don't worry. They'll find ways to walk away. It's all good.
Yeah.
No.
I can tell you so many con stories of people that just are so abrupt, and I find it hilarious. But like for whatever reason, my luck, I always get these people. So I'll give you an example. I had this one guy come up to my booth, and he goes, "So, most people's books, their first and their last sentences, they're usually pretty terrible." He's like, "I'm going to see what yours are like." He picks up my book. He opens it. He's like, He turns to the end, like, puts it down, grabs the other one. He's like, okay. Then he flips the other one. He's like, and he puts it down. He goes, I give you an all right. I give you an all right, kid. And then just walks away.
Yeah. What the hell?
I got another one.
That's like a gimmick absolute.
I was dying laughing.
Yes, I'm gonna read 4 sentences. You're all right, kid. What the fuck?
This other guy comes up to me and he goes, I heard about your books from the lady at the front. I was like, oh, awesome. That's great to hear. He goes, yeah, I looked you up online. He's like, you got reviews on Amazon, but there's probably a lot of friends and family there. He's like, you need more reviews on Goodreads. And then he just leaves. And that was it. That's all he told me. And so I look at the guy next to me. We just shrug our shoulders. I was like, shit, I guess I better get more reviews on Goodreads. Like,
it's owned by Amazon.
I'm sure it is, man. I'm sure it is. I'm owned by Amazon at this point.
Yeah, I love that. It's just like, you need reviews on that place where nobody is. What?
But, oh man!
To be fair, Goodreads did have a good run for a while, but yeah, it's now owned by Amazon, and it's pretty much just derelict.
I didn't know what Goodreads was until about a month ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
Yeah, it was a very niche platform.
I got a bunch of reviews on there instead of the actual Amazon sales pages. So, like, if you look at my author page on Goodreads. I got a bunch of reviews on G Sedai, like 3, I think. No, now I have 5. Sorry, on Amazon, but I have like 8 or 10, something like that, on Goodreads alone. And I'm like, yeah, great. Nobody cares about Goodreads.
The only way that it'll be helpful if Amazon owns them is if they start transferring those reviews over.
They won't.
They won't.
Yeah, no.
They won't.
Balderdash.
I know.
I have an unfortunate hypothesis, which is part of the reason why I kind of moved away from the replicating Goodreads into a decentralized and permanent thing, which is that, like, while authors, I think, want reviews and they want people to read their books, of course, what they really want is the algorithm to stop abusing them. And I think that I think that we're probably rapidly approaching a time where Amazon changes its algorithms again. And
the good old algorithm.
I don't know. I just think that's why I'm kind of starting the magazine to kind of create a foundation to build something else that's more of a broader way to just create an entirely alternate path.
Yes.
For people to put stuff out. You know what I mean? Not like an alternative publisher or something, but just like an entirely separate ecosystem.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, I like indies, I'm going to check this out. And then you go here, you see, like the magazine for now, but hopefully a lot of other stuff in that same area. Because I think, the problem is that indie authors just don't get seen most of the time. And reviews help that. But the root problem is that they're not getting seen. It's not that they don't have reviews. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
well, it's interesting too that I know that I think it was Sanderson who said that before it used to be like, let's say you bought his book and like my book, and that happened frequently. The algorithm would show that if you picked his book, my book would pop up, even though like, maybe I'm not a big deal. But now what they've done is they've like switched that up. And so it shows books that are advertised or books that are popular. And so it's because there's a lot that they're trying to do to appease publishing in a way, because publishing's, not a huge fan of them because of how much control they had. And so there's sort of like this like back and forth of trying to like keep each other, happy. And then at the same time, they just take a bunch of ads. But I don't know anybody who's clicking these Amazon ads to buy these books. That's why I didn't do them, because I felt like, if I spend all this money on these ads, they're just going to get glossed over because people are like, it's an ad. And so they don't have the impact that they used to have because they were different. But now it's like, it's just a different landscape now.
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, yeah. That is definitely too much to ask. Like, I've sold so many books at conventions, and I've maybe gotten, I'm trying to think how many people have reviewed my book on Goodreads, Amazon, or whatever after buying it at a convention. Maybe 10 to 15 if I'm lucky, and I've sold hundreds of books at conventions, hundreds. And yet I get maybe like a few of them do a review. And most of them are from Utah, so FanX, you win again. The FanX people review my book.
I'm gonna
have to check that out. That's pretty cool. And like I haven't been to Salt Lake, so that'd be kind of like a neat thing to check out sometime.
So
there's some really good food there too.
I'm gonna go a little bit old school here, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I am wrong. Most likely I'm wrong. Word of mouth is incredibly powerful. Have you guys ever heard from anybody, hey, got recommended this from a friend, liked it, bought it, I like it, keep it up? Does word of mouth do anything for you? Have you guys experienced it at the level that you guys are at?
Yes, I have.
Do you feel word of mouth is better than the online review?
Not necessarily, because I think word of mouth is really helpful, but if you have somebody currently in a shopping experience, like you're in a shoe store and you want to buy shoes, right? Like they're in Amazon looking for books. They want to buy books. Being able to have that is really huge. And I'll give a sort of a some inside baseball stuff with this release. So unfortunately, because I needed copies right away, I had to release my book in not an optimal way. I had to just get it out there, and it's fine. Like, I'm new, let's learn. And honestly, getting it out and getting this story for fans is exciting to me. So I had to have it ready for that convention. But if you do a pre-order system, it works way better for you. So like the way you ideally want to do it is like you get a bunch of people to read it ahead of time. They all do their reviews. You get a bunch of people to do the pre-order. And because when Amazon, like, my sales will slowly trickle over time, so I'll never climb in the rankings. But if I had 3 months to build a pre-order, let's say I got, a ton of sales, it would eventually, like, it would all hit as if I got 100 sales at once versus like,
yeah.
So it makes a big difference between, what you get being able to do that pre-order setup with the reviews and the algorithm and all that stuff versus just slow trickle sales by word of mouth. Like, you just have such bigger, massive appearance. Like the guy who wrote the 11th Cycle, great example. He did his pre-order system perfect. And so when his book sold, he had done pre-orders for months, but his book on release day had 500 sales right off the bat. So he shoots up the charts because it collects all those sales and then posts them right away. So there's a lot of stuff like that mean a lot.
Yeah, the algorithm doesn't discriminate; it just follows numerical pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a spike in sales, then it's like, oh, you're there. You go over here now.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there was something in the comments that you wanted
Richard,
to share.
are you making business deals in my chat?
No.
Bullshit.
I saw somebody laughing.
What
and I
is
was like,
this?
I bet there's something going on in the comments.
I was laughing at the drink with cray cray and the wig comment.
Oh,
I just didn't want to miss a good joke.
Oh yeah, the wig of destiny.
King
The
Bob
wig of
and I
destiny
are-
has been.
Oh,
a
that's
thing.
right.
But King
What
Bob's
did you
onto
say?
something. I think there's a great opportunity for King Bob's reviews. It's just a great name.
He just. Oh,
Yes.
that'd be great.
He sells
That would
refrigerators on the side and reviews books.
That's awesome. Well, no, King
King
Bob is the minion. So up until a few weeks ago, he was Captain Bob. And I just, for weeks, I read that, and he was in the Gilded and all that. And every time I read his name, I just wanted to shout King Bob, because as bad as the Minions movie is, I love that movie. It's not a good movie. It's
My
not a
daughter
good
loves
movie.
Minions.
I know it's not a good movie, but I don't know. There's just a chaos in those little bastards that I love. And so I'd read Captain Bob and my brain would just short circuit, and I just wanted to shout King Bob. And I said that on a live stream one night. I was like, I just want to say King Bob. And so I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden he changed his name to King Bob and changed it to King Bob the Minion. And King Bob is awesome. So it was great.
Yeah.
The lore of this
opportunity.
See, the lore of this channel is building.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to cons, you have baller artwork, you're doing mini figures, you're writing books, you're charismatic, you've got this whole like, hey, check out my stuff, I'm really hey. What do you not do? Like, what's the thing? Like, what's the thing that you as an author go, man, I wish I could put more time to this thing, but I got too much going? Because you're putting time to so many things.
Yeah.
So what's that thing that you go, God, I wish I could just put a little more time to this?
Man,
Mistakes, not mistakes, doesn't matter. For me, 100% honest, I wish I could put more time to my family right now. So that's the bar, right? I'm busy doing this. I've got the day job. I'm constantly on YouTube. I'm reading books. And so it can be some real stuff. It can be some not real stuff. What's that thing that Bryan Asher, with all of the things that you're dedicating time to, what's that thing that you wish you could dedicate more time to?
That's a tough one. I mean, for me right now, my bandwidth has been stretched thin because I think this has been the most, I'm putting so much into everything. I wish I could. I mean, obviously everybody wants more time with their family. But I really wish I could just dedicate more time to being able to build more on the review end. Like getting actual, like as far as this stuff goes, I wish I could get out more stuff to get more reviews and to build bigger, like when you see my book, like, oh, you see some people, they're self-published, they have like hundreds of reviews on their page. Like, I wish I could find a way to figure that out. I still am really struggling to figure out how to build the review platform, because people tell me about my books. Probably, honestly, probably. Again, that is the area I wish I could be better at, is getting the review aspect, because when people read my books, even though, like I told you from the beginning, Royce, that I'm new and they're not perfect, but I think you'll be entertained. And that is sort of the result that I got. I think with this book, though, I think this is actually the best jumping on point, because I don't think you'll be bored at the beginning and you'll be very entertained. So, but yeah, reviews is the hard one.
And I wasn't bored at the beginning. Don't twist my words. No,
I gave you a picture in chapter 3, Royce. A picture.
I wasn't
at least
bored.
3
I'll give you a hard time. Yeah.
God.
I'll give Bryan a hard time for you. I think the thing that he wishes he could spend more time on was giving the editor more time to work on the book.
No, I'd have given that guy less time just to watch him squirm.
The editor was fine.
I didn't know what I was gonna do. It was tough, because I really wanted. I knew how good the art was gonna be. I knew Christian was gonna knock it out of the park, and I was like, I cannot give a subpar book. This book needs to be edited. It needs passes. I had done, all the passes with my beta readers I knew, and with, friends and family, and my wife, who's always going to tell me what I do wrong. I try and find people who are going to tell me what I do wrong.
Always, gentlemen, always, if for the dudes out there that are looking for a wife, find you a woman who will look at what she does wrong and then also tell you what you do wrong. I'm telling you, and then you got to be that husband. Just quick advice for the guys out there, because my channel kind of is in that world.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, if you're looking for a lady, she needs to see what she does wrong. She needs to see what you do wrong, and she needs to work on both of those things. And that's the key.
I love it. Yeah. So I know I hit this guy up and I was like, hey man, I got to get these books in the system. Can you at least do a copy edit? And I'll give you a lot of credit for this, because originally I was just asking grammar, punctuation, all that. He did a full story edit too. And I incorporated all the edits he did for story, all of them. So you're getting all of that. Like I incorporated every edit you had sent me, which was really cool. And you did the copy edit. So the fact that you did all that was really cool.
It was a joy, man.
Yeah.
And
so I really wasn't sure I was going to be able to be honest. I was like, I'm definitely going to do exactly what he asked for. But
he legit sent us a message and said, guys, I'm going radio silent for a few days. I have to do this. Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have a book that needs to have that kind of work done, you can go to whimsyland.org down in the chat below.
Your rate is also much better than a lot of people who've reached out to me.
Oh,
so I've had people who want thousands of dollars to edit a book.
Yeah, I get told my rate is way too low all the time. I don't care. I'm not here to break banks. I'm here to help you shine.
You did.
That could be your tagline. Because like my it's not like
this is like when Google's first motto was "Don't be evil."
Yeah,
it used to be. Yeah.
Their first motto.
And then so our
Daniel's first motto
Daniel is going to have a mid plot turn to the dark side and begin.
I believe it.
Yeah, have a heel turn.
Yeah.
Well, people always ask because on my services section, it's like the coaching is $35 for an hour. The editing and proofing is $250. And then there's the ghostwriting, and it's $10K. And everybody's like, I get the question all the time: how do you justify $10,000 for a ghostwriting gig when your editing and proofing is $250? And I'm like, you do understand that it takes at least 3 months to write a story, like a whole book.
That's totally fair price.
$10K is like $20,000 cheaper than most professional ghostwriters will offer you. It's right in line with my intent to serve people. It's just, it takes me months away from doing anything else. So you got to pay for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably more than the people got who wrote all the Goosebumps books with R.L. Stein's name on them. So,
True.
Well, and what I was saying is, dude, you could totally, market yourself as like, look, my services are for the little guy. There's the big guys out there that can do a lot more. I'm not going to treat you like the big guy. You're at your start. Let me be at the start with you. I think that's how you can really, really market what you're doing. And then obviously when Mr. Bryan Asher here becomes like the next, I don't know, like Martin or Rowling or Tolkien or whatever he becomes, he can always be like, there was this dude. I forget his name, but his website was Whimsy something. But he helped me out. Good guy. Damn it.
Have a funny dragon picture.
David, Darren. Yeah. Anyway.
I'll be buying the whimsysomething.com domain name.
Whimsysomething.com.
It was me.
Honestly, that's my goal. That's my goal. I don't even, when I started it up, I'm like, yeah, I want to make enough to pay my bills and cover my expenses for doing these things. But the ultimate goal is 20 years from now, somebody just says, way back when I started out, this guy helped me.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
And that is, and that's why Daniel P. Riley is a co-host of this show. And also because he's about a full hand under the chair.
He's almost.
I said about.
This
is only.
You can't hold it like this. You have to hold it like this.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Not quite.
This is drink 2, okay?
Yeah.
The Fear of Moncroy, out on Amazon right now. You said you've got a couple ideas, but I'm going to lock you in right now. Sir, what are you doing next?
I told you about the comic book, so that's a big one coming up. It's a solo story with Carnett that's being worked on by Shannon Portrats, who's illustrating it right now. He did the Redeemers comic for Outland. So he's got about 3 pages of it done right now. And so we're slowly getting that knocked out. And then I kind of am either I'll go back to Malcozé with those original characters, but in several years after. So the good thing is that second book will be standalone. You can read it independent of the first one, but it'll just be another adventure with those characters, similar to like the Forgotten Realms books, right? Like you can read them in different order, but if you read more, that type of thing. The other story that I've been kind of back burner working on is that there's a group of people called the Sky Climbers who mine some of the toughest intercontinents on the bottom side. And they're like all the exiled criminals and stuff because they're the only people who are going to want to work these terrible jobs. And so there's going to be a whole kind of like pirate story with the Sky Climber crew that I'm slowly building on. But then, Malcozé, and then I have a Lorev story on the burner right now. But that one's still too early to really to iron in. But I would say that's kind of where I'm at right now. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I like that Sky Climber idea.
Yeah, I've actually been writing that at conventions. So people draw at their table at conventions. So what I was doing is I was like, people like will draw for idle time. So they, it lets people approach your booth because it looks like you're busy, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to turn that on its head. I'm going to write. So I've been like writing this story on paper. And also it's been a long time since I've done that. So I have this piece of paper that's in my Comic-Con stuff and I only go back to it when I'm at the con and I start writing it. So it's been really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's been like a big, just a fun little thing for me. And then eventually I'll have those notes, which is kind of cool. And I'm sure it'll all change once I transfer it and edit it and hit you up again. I'm hitting you up to edit all my books from now on because you found some continuity stuff that it was really, really helpful. So I was very impressed. And that was only on like 2 days cram notice. So if I actually gave you the full 4 weeks, man, we could make some magic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I was finished, I was like, man, I wish I could take more time. And I even said to you, I'll keep working on it if you want me to.
Yeah. I feel that I really love this story. I really love the way that it turned out. And so I'm very happy with like presenting it the way it is. I feel all the edits you gave me were great ways to incorporate it. So what con am I at? I know I've said this earlier, but if somebody So people who've already heard me say this a million times, sorry, but I will be at Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle, Washington. That's the 2nd through the 5th. And then I will be at FanX in Salt Lake City, which is September, I want to say like in 22nd or 23rd, like it's 3 days. But I'll be at FanX for Salt Lake City. And then hopefully I'll be at Washington State Summer Con in Puyallup. But again, I'm still kind of ironing out scheduling on that one. So
fantastic.
Yeah. Conventions are my favorite part. I love them.
All right. So Bryan.
I'm looking to get into it myself.
You should. Let's do a booth together. Where do you live?
I live in Pennsylvania.
We'll figure something out.
I wouldn't trust going to like the Philadelphia conventions.
Well, I don't want to get
terrifying
shot,
place. Yeah,
You're
exactly.
like stabbed over there. I feel like you get more stabbed in Pennsylvania. Stabbed or shot? What do you think? Maybe
no,
both?
We'll travel
stabbed,
then
shot.
Yeah,
let's go to
20
Iowa.
years ago, I would have said stabbed would be yes, but nowadays,
Iowa.
Stabbed then shot. Yeah,
all right,
robbed. Yeah.
All right. So shortly after the first time we had Mr. Bryan Asher on the show, he goes over to Richard's IronAge.media, you know, that thing.
Rude.
Well, and then drops a lore thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And does that over on IronAge. He had already done that. That's true. He already did that. Anyway, so now I'm thinking, probably shouldn't phrase it this way.
Here we go.
What would I have to do to get the just like a short story, just one-off little small adventure of my favorite character, Matthew, of like him going through the woods, gets into some hijinks with some wild animals, maybe meets some people, but just a short story of Matthew, because I am telling you right now, the way that you made that character shine in about chapter 21, 22 just totally changed my mind. And now I'm just like, I just want more of that character and see what he would do in just an isolated, he's just hanging out in the woods and hijinks ensue. Do you have anything like that in your brain that you would do, Bryan? Anything at all?
I could try and come up with a short story, but I will say this: he has been the pivotal piece of the beginning of my next Malcozé book. And right now, the way my brain works is I have to kind of go through the imagination phase where I start really building the story. And the way I plan to open that second book is that Torong is, and for anybody who hasn't read my book, sorry, Torong is training with Oros. They're like working together, and then Matthew ends up with Barrett. And so like Oros and Torong are like the serious people.
That's a good match.
And then Matthew and Barrett are the not serious people. So Matthew and Barrett are on this like mission, and of course it goes to hell because he's like this big brute who just does his thing. And then Matthew is just this, sarcastic cut up who just does his thing. So it's like the worst two people you could put together to get a mission. And that's going to like open the book. Is it going completely south? So, yeah.
That could be really, really interesting for those two.
Always.
So maybe I'll have to write the Malcozé book next so that you can get your Matthew fixed.
Man, I was genuinely surprised. I was genuinely surprised at how taken by that character I was, because really up to the point there's a pretty bloody conflict right after the farmhouse, and it's this and Matthew just always seemed to just say the really snarky things at just not the right moment, and sometimes he would recognize it and most of the time he wouldn't. But when it came to that point where he was literally staring down the face of death, you wrote the character in a way that you're like, wow, not only is he smart, but he used his smarmy attitude to essentially win the fight. And that right there just won me over. I was just like, I'm sold. It was actually Eros. Eros had been my favorite character up to that point. Up to that point, it was Eros. And after that point, I was just like, Eros who? That's literally how strongly I feel about that. Like Turong, it would have been Eros. It would have been Eros, and then Turong were my top 2. And then I think after that it was Matthew and Eros. Matthew wasn't even in the top 2. He almost.
I remember you sending me that message. You're like, "Man, I'm so annoyed by this kid," and then you wrote this chapter, and now I love him.
Yeah, like I was like his character just, and it's not like he like pissed me off or like it was like, okay, he's the annoying friend. Like it's the trope. Everybody has the annoying friend. But all of a sudden in that chapter, he went from being the annoying friend to not the annoying friend. He went to actually a competent, understanding his strengths, understanding his personality. And I was like, wow. Just wow. And I think that's chapter 22.
It's in the 20s for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not a pivotal chapter, I mean, I am kind of getting to the point of needing some outside sources for the audio prompts that I've been putting up weekly. Okay. And, somebody could narrate a chapter from one of your books if you wanted to do something like that. And I would love it. Saying that they were highly motivated to do something with one of those chapters,
Yeah. I'd definitely be down for that, for an audio prompt. I'd actually like to do the Treasure Lore Rev just because I already have this Asta Malkasean audiobook. But I think it'd be cool to do the Lore Rev. Also because it's sci-fi, so it'd be fun to kind of hear some people's take on it. I'm also open to doing chapters from this book too. That'd be fantastic because I haven't lined anybody up. So, but Royce, I think you'll like this as well. So my plan when I do, so my first artist who did my first books, Emilis, he doesn't do freelance art anymore, which is what led me to finding Christian, who's awesome. So all my ones like fantasy and horror are going to be by him. So my plan is my next Malcozé book will be illustrated by him. And I plan to have a Matthew and a Barrett illustration in there because I didn't have a Matthew and a Barrett illustration in there. So he's going to, I can't even imagine the stuff he's going to be able to do with those. And I have some plans to maybe do like full page open illustrations. So I basically have, one illustration and be able to have it go across both the pages and stuff like that. So, but that stuff's all in the works. So whatever this book does will be what is able to carry in to do the next one. So
that's awesome, man.
I think it's going to be really good because one of the things I loved about Fear of Moncroy was the almost odd couple buddy cop interactions between Karnath and Davian. Yeah. And if you could keep that going, but in the Matthew Barrett dynamic, I think that's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And these two guys, you'll get to see.
I didn't even think of Matthew and Barrett as a pairing. I thought of Matthew. I really thought you were going to make Matthew kind of like the third wheel to Eros and Turong. But the Matthew Barrett pairing, that could be really, really fun, actually. Kind of the Lancers, the two Lancers teaming up together. Lancers, I say Lances, but yeah, the two that could be really, really interesting to see. I am so, sir, we are at the time where it's time to give our time to the audience because they've listened to us for the last 2 hours. Please. But I will give you one more. Give it the gusto. Tell us about where we can find what you are doing right now.
My Twitter, Asher_author. You can find links to all my stuff. If you go to AsherNovels.com, I have links to everything. Links to my audiobook, all my individual books, all the places they're located. You can get this book on Amazon. I do have a Barnes & Noble link, but if you're going to buy it in paperback, buy it on Amazon because Barnes & Noble has not let me fix the manuscript for the paperback version, only the ebook. So if you're buying it in paperback, buy it from Amazon. I'm still dealing with all their nonsense, but the ebook version is live if you have a Nook reader and you want to get it that way. But AsherNovels.com, AsherNovels.com.
I've been linking Intercon Press. Is that the proper link?
Either one works. So if you go to AsherNovels.com or InterconPress.com, they both go to the same website. Yep. When I say Asher Novels, it's easier for people to hear Asher Novels and know how to type it in. Whereas Intercon Press, they might like miss a T or a P or whatever. So they all go to the same place. I have one big author platform there. But yeah, you can find everything on my website. It's got my short story. It's got my books. It's got my audiobook. It's got breakdowns of all the novels, all my appearances. You can sign up for my newsletter. I send out a newsletter quarterly that tells you about everything. I have my own YouTube channel that is linked in the bottom as well. That does I do book recommendations. I did an unboxing with my wife of Secret Project #1 that Brandon Sanderson had.
Nice.
I recently just launched a video for Mistborn, a book recommendation there, and then I actually have a trailer on my YouTube channel for my books as well, for my universe. So with some exclusive art by Cy Gardner, who did the Treasure of Lorette chapter headers. He did a full illustration for that as well. Of a ship, airship.
Awesome.
Right on.
That is awesome.
Yeah. I'm always trying to create. That's my big thing. My promise to people who invest in me is that I will keep creating. You will keep getting content. I fund it all myself, and I'll keep working and putting out content, even if I never make enough to go full time, because I just can't stop. So,
well, you know what, and hopefully we're able to make that happen. I think all of us here have the
kindred spirits,
have the passion and the drive to build whatever the heck it is that we're building, and build it into something fantastic. So
yeah,
I got your back, man. I'll be talking to the wife and be like, hey babe, you gotta do the hey babe thing when you're married. You about hey, it's not like it's like be really cool. Like I don't need it like right now, but like there's this thing, So
yeah, I love that because I've got 5 story arcs for G Sedai. It's probably gonna end up being 15 books. Wow. And I don't even know if that's going to be the end at this point. I know what the end is going to be, but I don't know where that end's going to land. It may go beyond that. Depends.
G Sedai, the story whose end never seems to end.
No, it has a definitive ending. I just haven't decided where I'm going to stop it at.
G Sedai, the story that doesn't know when the end is coming.
Exactly.
Tagline, love it. Never ending story.
It's an action novella series. It got in a review. It got called a high quality dark anime in novel form.
There you go.
That's cool.
Interesting.
So if you go with that, it could go on forever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
One Piece. I've been on Funimation lately, checking out some stuff. One Piece is on episode like 1,000 and something, and I'm just like,
oh, dude, it's crazy.
Yep.
And I have no interest in. I know people who are like, I used to watch One Piece years ago, back when they were on episode 300. I'm like, oh, what episode are they on now? They're like 1,000 something. I'm like, and I thought they were screwing with me. I thought that was just being hyperbolic. No, they're not being hyperbolic. It's on like episode 1,000.
Yeah.
Eveline music. I hear it gets good around 600 episodes.
You just got to get through the first 2/3 or whatever.
Yeah. You just got to get through. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
we are going to get through seasons 1 and 2, but season 3.
Right. I give stuff 3 episodes. If you don't hook me in 3 episodes, I'm out.
Yeah,
the only show that I've never actually been able to do that with was Sons of Anarchy. I tried my hardest to get through that first episode, and I couldn't. Because I do believe in that. Because everybody's like, well, I'm like, give it 3 episodes. If you can give it 3 episodes and it doesn't hook you, walk away from it.
And that's how I Biker Hamlet.
There's a reason that I would anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go over to the chat.
It's literally Biker Hamlet.
I'm not saying it's not. I mean, Lion King was just Lion Hamlet.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the Amazon link again, and I am going to announce again the contest that we have. You buy, or wait, no, that's the Assassin of Malkozeh. I have been linking the wrong book. How did I get to the Assassin of Malkozeh? That's not the right book. Wait for it. Hey, there we go. That one. No.
Return your orders now. No.
There always has to be one a drink with Boomer moment on every.
Oh no, I've linked that link like 7 times tonight. Here's the right link. The Fear of Moncroy. Guys, go buy The Fear of Moncroy. Make sure it's The Fear of Moncroy and not that bunk link that I sent you earlier. And if you guys buy The Fear of Moncroy, I want you there's a few stages of the process here. 1, you're going to buy that book. 2, you're going to screenshot your purchase of that book. 3, you are going to join my Gilded, right? and you're going to become a member over there, and you're going to chat with all the fantastic people over there. 4,
including me,
you are going to send me that screenshot of your purchase, and 5, you are going to send me the picture of the book in your hands, and that will enter you into winning or possibly winning the first 2 books from Bryan Asher and all of the custom prints that he sent to me. And now he's going to send me more custom prints for the grand prize winner. Hey, Roy, Sport Carter, dance monkey, dance. I will be your A Drink with Crazy dance monkey, and I have to figure out how to get all this stuff out to you. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to take screenshots of your purchase of Bryan Asher's new book, and you're going to send me that, and then you're going to send me a picture of it in your hands. Nothing dirty, please, for the love of God. I will nuke you from my gilded. But you do those 2 things. I need the proof of purchase and the proof of it being in your hands, and that's the 2-step process of making sure that you guys are entered into winning his first 2 books and the custom prints and some more custom prints that apparently he's going to send me.
We'll figure it out.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You'll figure. Yeah, it'll be fine. Chat, figure it out. Go buy his book. He's awesome. He was the first guest we ever had on Iron Age Nights. He didn't even know it was an Iron Age Nights. I don't think so.
Well, it wasn't until right before.
Yeah, we didn't come up with the name until afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, we hadn't decided.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys wanted Knights with a K instead of Knights with an N. You guys suck. Well, and then Shad Brooks was on that one. It was
a long stream.
It's all about the swords.
That was a long stream. All right. A Drink with Monkey, Wrangler says down in the chat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get to all of you who have been over on the locals and in the YouTube chat. And so I'm going to go and show some love to the locals and Frequency Studio over in the locals chat for 420. Says, bless you. That's for when Richard decided to sneeze in the opening of the show.
I figured out what happened. I muted my Blue Yeti mic here, but I have a different webcam hooked up whenever I was streaming tabletop last week, and it's still hooked up. So I guess StreamYard was like, why, yes, we're going to use the webcam mic instead of the nice mic that you've used every other time.
Always check your audio settings.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, oh. So I apologize, guys.
No, you're fine. You're fine. He says bless you, though. And Kikomon for $100 over on the locals side.
Thank you, sir.
Wow. Here's some support for the computer. Yes, I am constantly shilling my Gilded and telling people that I think... So here's where I'm at. With all of the people who are over on the Gilded, and I'll interrupt the super chat for a second. Because I would have to go on a payment plan for a computer. But if I got enough people on the Gilded to become supporters, where I could do like $500 a month in supporters. So that could be a lot of supporters, it could be like less supporters. But if you become a supporter over on Gilded, that is going to help me replace my computer, which is still a good computer, but it's old and it's starting to have its hiccups, as old things do. And so I always show my Gilded, and I will say this. If you guys become a supporter on Gilded or locals, whatever you prefer, Gilded seems to be the best because more of what you support me with goes to me. But I think I think if I can get to the point where I have enough supporters for about $500 a month, that would allow me to get onto a payment plan that my wife wouldn't murder me over. So I could actually get the computer to make sure that this show could one, continue, and two, be bigger and better, and help continue it on in the future. So if you guys like what we're doing here, if you like what I'm doing here, if you just, I don't know, like the insanity, go join the Gilded, one, to be a part of the community, because those guys because my Gilded isn't about me. It's about everybody out there joining together. The only thing that is really about me is if you guys enter into the subscription tier and decide to support me monetarily. So that's where the computer part of this comes in. Mm-hmm. So Kikomon, back to his $100 over on locals, says, here's some support for the computer. Great show and giveaway concept, Bryan and Royce. So that I think that was mostly me, maybe. I don't remember. King Richard, please bless us with an outro with your crown. Hail the king. Hail the king.
Now, I will add a little bit more to Royce's little shield there. Guys, do me a favor.
Don't touch my shield.
Support his Gilded and his efforts, because the man won't let me help him with the computer cost. So help me help him. Show him some love.
He offered, and it's weird taking. It's just hard for me to be like, hey, go give me money, because I'm just like, I don't like it anyway. But a lot of people, even supporters of mine, Kikomon said it, you know, Trippy, a lot of the guys you'll meet over in the Gilded they've talked with me, and they're like, dude, you're doing something, and what you do is worth something. And I'm like, okay, so it's made me more comfortable, because I am a capitalist at the end of the day, but people, they're working hard for their money and stuff like that. And it is asking for just a little bit of money from people every month. Like if you get the gold tier over on Gilded, it's $10 a month to be a supporter. The bronze tier is $2. The silver tier is, I think, $5. And it's hard enough for me to ask for that. So when Daniel P. Riley comes up and says, hey, I'll work with you to give you like a lot of money, and then there's like this other stuff which just my wife and I can't commit to, and like work on like books and stuff like that, we just couldn't do that. It's like a lot of money. It's a lot easier for me to like do like the shotgun approach and be like, hey guys, if you guys like what I'm doing here and you want to help me with a new computer, don't have to, but if you want to help, it's a lot easier for me to ask a lot of people for like a smaller amount of money, like $5 or $10, than it is for me to even accept an offer from a person for like a large amount of money. Like, I don't know. That's probably something's wrong in my brain.
Money, bro.
It's yeah, dude, yeah.
But seriously, folks, help me, help Royce.
Oh God, that's so gay. That's so gay. But yeah, the guys. So that's the shield. That's the show for the Gilded, and ultimately, like the Gilded, it's not just there for you guys to. It's not just there for you guys to support me. It's there for you guys to connect with the authors that are there, the artists that are there. It's just musicians, all kinds of stuff.
I would love to jump on there and chat with people too. So we'll have to connect offline about making that happen, because I would love to do a whole, like, anybody who reads it, like after, if we get enough people who've read it, that we could do like a big, like, kind of ask me anything type of thing. I could jump on there and chat with a bunch of people.
Dude, we could totally do an AMA over there.
I would absolutely love to do that.
Perfect place to do an AMA. Oh, that would be great.
So yeah, if you get like, you know, enough people that reach out to you that have finished the book, we could do a big AMA, and then definitely get Daniel in there, since he's you know, did the editing. We could really like talk about everything since they've read the book, and you know, they won't worry about spoilers and all that stuff. So
yeah,
as soon as I get a free couple of hours to just, you know,
shut up, you're
other than what I'm doing.
All right, so
I'm gonna shoot Richard a review of Fear of Moncrozet to put on Moncroy to put on
Moncrozet.
Yeah. He's had a lot of drinks, that guy.
No,
the glass is empty.
Surprisingly, he hasn't. He's not a hand and a half. Once he hits a hand and a half, you're done. It's great. It's great. All right. Okay, so going over here, Kikomon for $5. My cat has the cone of shame, like the video for sympathy. Every like will contribute to another day that Royce will not shave. I haven't agreed to this at all, but that's for $5 from Kikomon. Thank you so much.
Kikomon, in private chat, he said that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, no, that's not a great idea at all.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Kikomon, okay, so this was the $20 chat for the poll that I put up, which is still up. I will end that poll right now. Richard, looks like you won best beard.
Well,
looks like you won best beard with like
only one with a real beard.
Yeah, like it's not even like close. It's not even close. How the hell did I beat Daniel? I beat you by 2%. Ending the poll now, so I can at least beat somebody. It is my chat.
Yeah.
People don't like my musketeer goatee. That's all.
Oh, they're just, well, they're blasphemous. That's what it is. They're blasphemous. Kikomon for $10 is, what happens if I buy 10 copies? What's the process for that? So if you buy 10 copies, you can send me one picture of your receipt for one of those copies. And you're only going to get one entry. Like, I only have, so, no.
If you buy 10 copies, you can send 9 copies out to friends.
Right. Yeah. If you buy 10 copies,
I'll get you a print. You just let me know if you buy 10 copies. I'll get you a print.
Kikomon for $2. He did not enter the contest. He says he forfeits the contest because Kikomon just wanted to support you and buy the book, but he does not want to be a part of the contest. So that's Kikomon for $2. He just wants to support you guys.
Thank you very much.
Kikomon is the man.
I'm actually seeing if I can get some of the comic art on my computer to show you guys here. So bear with me, okay?
Oh, you're good.
So this would actually be the first time it's ever been shown. So I'd love to get to do that. So
sneak peek.
And Shannon's super cool about this stuff, so he won't mind that I'm sharing some of it.
You hope, anyway.
I pay him every time he does a page, so we're all copacetic.
There you go. Hey, pay your artists, ladies and gentlemen. Pay your artists.
Yeah,
so Trippy Soul says, and this is not a super chat. This is just chat. He says, "A drink is crazy needs deeper cues for the notes. We're literally fighting a culture war right now. FYI." Yeah. So Trippy watches these and takes notes and then sends me timestamps of it all, so that way I can clip it out and do Iron Age Nights clips. I intentionally did not do any clips this week because next week I'm going to be hella busy. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of clips this weekend and releasing them next week because next week there might be a chance where I don't do a daily upload. Just the day job's going to hit me a little hard. Oh, God. Oh, stop yawning, guys. Fuck. So, I'm not tired. You're tired. No, nobody believes. All right, that's fine. Kikomon for $5. I hate double standards. Burn a body at a crematorium. You're being a respectful friend. Do it at a home and you're destroying evidence. Kikomon. And he's not wrong. This is where Kikomon sends in the small chats and just tells jokes. I love this part of the stream. This is great. Kikomon for $5. I'd like to have kids one day. I don't think I could stand them any longer than that, though. Oh. So Kikomon for another $5 says, when I die, I want to die like my grandfather who died peacefully in his sleep, not screaming like all the passengers in his car.
I've heard that one.
Oh, God. That's great. I haven't heard that one before. That's great. Kikomon for another $5. What is the worst combination of illnesses? Alzheimer's and diarrhea. You're running but can't remember where. Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's a good one.
That's terrible. Kikomon, my God, good sir. He's on a roll tonight. I haven't heard any of these before. This is good. Kikomon for another $5. I've asked so many people what LGBTQ stands for. So far, no one has given me a straight answer.
Okay, that's funny.
That's really good.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Oh, Kikomon for $5 again. My son, who's into astronomy, asked me how stars die. Usually an overdose, son, I told him. Oh, God. He sent so... How many jokes did you send in, Kikomon? My good Lord, good sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. For $5 again, I was in Russia listening to a stand-up comedian making fun of Putin. The jokes weren't that good, but I liked the execution.
I figured that was where that one was going.
I kind of figured that too, yeah. Oh, God. Kikomon for $5. Question. Oh, wait. Why is that? Okay, question. Evlay Music reminded me. Bryan Asher, how much inspiration have you drawn from Legend of Shallar, the greatest book of the decade? Okay, you guys aren't starting that shit right now.
I don't even know what that is.
It's not a thing. It's my chat. So, and
it's
here's
really
the thing.
Good book. Royce just
no, fuck on. No, because somebody's going to write it now and put it. It's a meme.
It's already been written.
No bullshit. I fucking challenge you motherfuckers to find me the copyright right now.
I don't even know what that is.
It's back lore of the channel. It's back lore of the channel. Just
there we go.
It's a book that doesn't exist.
Was on Twitter asking to try and get on here for
next
Friday, maybe.
What?
All right, let me know if you guys can see my screen too whenever you're ready.
Add to stream.
Presentation.
Presentation. Presentation.
Yeah, so that's
so good.
Yeah, this is the first page, and then down here is Q layer being walled off, and then the other areas. And then he's got let me just get this guy up here. That's a drawing of Karneth that he did. And let's get some of these pages. So that's him on his horse coming up to this tavern.
Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah, so this is the stuff he's done right now. The comic's going to be in black and white too, intentionally so. And then there'll be like splashes of color. So it's intentionally black and white, and then like let's say somebody dies, there could be like blood splattered or whatever.
Battle color.
That's gonna be great.
And then I think this is one of the images when he goes inside.
That's awesome.
Yeah, nice. So he's top notch. He does some really good stuff. This is the bigger image there. So yeah, it's cool too because he's using these Dark Horse comic art boards, which is like super fun to see. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a general question about the intercontinents. Is there anything at the bottom? Like, can you fall? Like, if you kick a rock off the edge, does it go anywhere?
You fall off. And you just fall.
Here's the bad part. I actually understood what he was asking. I was like, "Oh yeah,
fall for eternity."
So that's a good primer. So there are edge oceans that wrap around some intercontinents. So some intercontinents, they have an ocean that goes around them. Most of the big ones do. And each of my books features things about those. There is a certain character who is going to end up doing what you say, not for drunken reasons, but other reasons. And it may or may not lead him to a portal to another place. So we'll see.
Yeah. You can't do that to me, damn it!
That's his job.
That's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, yeah, and it's all time. It's a Malkozeh thing too, so it's a plot that'll probably happen in the second or third book I do with Malkozeh.
Awesome.
Do you remember Morgan, the archer, Royce?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's gonna find some stuff.
That was interesting. That was yeah.
He's going to find some stuff because he's on the run after the first book. So, but again,
shit, he was the guy you said you left in the wind. Oh, damn it. I didn't even catch that.
So he's on the run. But the good part is the way I'm going to write it, if you end up reading this,
he has such a brutal scene.
Standalone. So
what was it? No, it wasn't Morgan. Who's the other guy?
He's the one that killed all those people in the early chapter, like 11.
In the camp.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh man, that was a brutal scene.
Yeah.
Brutal scene. Oh, like I read that scene. I was just like, because I don't think there's another scene like it in the book, and it is hardcore brutal, and I really liked it.
Yeah, so I had to make him shine before the farmhouse, and so that was a way for me to make him shine, and also set up the idea of the debt collecting too. So.
Well, again, and how else are you going to talk about a character being kind of a badass like that without showing some? You almost described not quite gratuitous violence, but you're on the edge of it. I mean, if you're not there, you're on the edge of it. I mean. And that scene just was fantastic. Morgan, honestly, that's the guy that you would almost want to see a standalone story of. Like, because he's one of those guys who's like, how do you get that good? Right? Because he had to have lived a life that got him there, right? It's like, how do you get that good? I mean, that scene was okay. Okay. Kick him on for $2. Says Daniel is 6 inches down. Woo! Party starting. Oh, Kikomon, get a different tape measure. No, nobody. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just me. All right, whatever. Fine. Kikomon for $2. Not too late to start an OnlyFans, Royce. No. No. I'm not even kidding. Dude, I've been going after the thoughts and stuff on my channel lately because
Iron Age booty fans.
Oh God, I could do it too. That's the sad part. And it'd be all you bastards, and it'd be weird. Anyway, Kikomon for $2. Conservative ADWC dog whistle. Do it. That was literally, we were dying a few weeks back on my channel because they're always like, oh, the conservatives, they hear these dog whistles, and I was like,
oh, I did that. Sorry about that.
And we were like, we should do ADWC dog whistles, and like nobody would get the joke. So it's like, oh, conservative dog whistles, they can hear the dog. I was like, we should do it. It would be hilarious. I'm still deciding.
You don't even have to make a working whistle.
No, that's the funny part. It doesn't even have to work. They'd be like, what is that? It'd be like a dog whistle. And people are like, why do you have a dog whistle? Like most normal people who aren't like politically initiated, be like, what are you talking about? Oh, man. Oh, God. Gentlemen, I think that we have caught up with all of the super chats. We have been able to talk about the fear of Montcroy, which I'm going to have to go, hey, babe, my wife about that one here in a minute. Like, hey, babe. Hey, babe.
Absolutely.
But, and I may actually have to put on hold your book, Brian, because there's actually a creator out there who's doing a comic book that I think my daughter would really like. And
awesome.
But they should 2 books out, short story, really big package for like $45.
So, yeah, do your thing, man.
But I think it's because it's obvious it's werewolf based, and I think my daughter would my daughter I think she would just fall in love with that. So it's called Bonds. I do have that pulled up in one of my other 17 tabs that I have open. There it is, right there. But yeah, it's Bonds, the Cursed Child. But yeah, I think I may purchase that for my daughter and have her read
really
that.
good.
It does. It does. The artwork looks really fantastic. So I might have to like, hey babe, like really, really hard. There's a very, very strong possibility I end up going to the chicken coop tomorrow and working on that. So yeah. Me purchasing your books costs me manual labor, just so everybody knows.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. Gotta go do my day job, and then I gotta go do the honeydew list just to be able to buy your guys' books, just so I can shill you guys on my channel. I feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick here.
Don't think too hard about it. Probably
shouldn't. That's not a good idea. But I will say this. I think unless we have some more chats or more questions, I think it's time for Mr. Daniel P. Riley to show what he's working on.
No.
Okay.
I'm kidding. All right. Here, we'll try, even though I've only had 2 drinks tonight.
All right. Since Kikomon said, I'm going to put on the crown.
Yes, put the crown.
Put on the crown. Yes!
Birthday boy.
King Richard.
Yes. This will not be on Sunday, so enjoy it while you got it, guys. And my kids made this, apparently. So
Trippy.
Oh, dude, it's for the kids, man. Come on.
Yes.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, screen cap it right now. Screen cap it. Do it. Screen cap. Your kids made it, dude. Did your kids know about the King Richard thing?
No.
Okay.
What do you think I'm going to let them watch the stream?
No, I also don't let my kids watch the stream. So, Dad, how come we can't watch? My kids can. Hey, Dad, we watched your stream. I told you not to do that. How come you use bad language? I told you not to do that.
Yeah.
God.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to shill now.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, baby, shill it up.
Yeah, it's
all right.
Me.
I gotta know you can shill.
I can't. I'm
show
horrible.
for you.
I'm horrible at this. So, okay. Working on Aes Sedai 2, the second book in the Angel War arc, of which there will be 3. And the first book is out on Amazon and some in some stores actually. So you can probably find it anywhere.
Richard, do you have that link? Because I don't have that link.
Which one?
What?
To Aes Sedai.
It's on Amazon.
It's also available on the Whimsyland bookshelf.
Yes, all of my stuff is available on the Whimsyland bookshelf.
Easier way to do things.
Where the hell is the Whimsyland bookshelf? Is that the link I have for
Whimsyland.org?
Okay, good. Yeah. Thank God I have that link. Holy crap!
And there is.
Suck.
Thank you. There is a page dedicated to Legacy of Heroes with the original artwork of the characters. Yes. Done by all sorts of artists, including my beloved daughter, who I talk about all the time on Twitter. I have not added the most recent picture yet, which is this really cool drawing she did of Tragedy. Legacy of Heroes is actually right now at this very moment free, the ebook version, free on Amazon. It was a celebratory thing because I hit like 700 followers and was like,
awesome.
Free book.
That's
Go get
awesome.
It's available just for the weekend. Ends at like midnight on Sunday. So if you want to check it out, you can get it for free. Ebook version. They won't let me do free paperbacks, but if you actually reach out to me on Twitter at Mr. DP Riley and say, hey, I want a physical copy, I'll send it to you. I don't care. I can book it out like cookies.
I legit just need to buy a printer and just have somebody send it to me like in printer format, and then because we had a printer, but it died.
Dude, that's
what all printers do.
Say I want your book, I'll send it to you. I don't care.
No, because then I can't give you money.
No, you can't.
The hell are you? You some commie? Are you a commie?
No, he's marketing. It's marketing expense.
No, I'm an author. What we do.
Yeah, but I suck at reading, dude. I bought 3 more books, and I'm barely through the books that I have.
Well, I don't care if you don't read them till 3 years from now. Just care that you have them.
But the goal, and here's why I have, and I will say this: the more books that I get, the more pressure that I have, and the more it makes me want to read. Because again, I got done telling Daniel before the show, I'm the guy, I live my life in stress. If I'm not stressed to the nines, like my wife thinks something's wrong with me. She's like, are you good? I'm like, I'm just chilling. She goes, okay.
You don't chill.
Like, I don't know the chill. I want the being between a rock and a hard place. That's where I live, because I shatter the rock and the hard place every time, and then I go find a new rock and a new hard place to be between. That's me. That's my personality. That's what I want to do. And so having the books just pile up and going, I need to keep honest, dude. It caused me to clear in the last 2 nights. I've cleared 2 chapters of Infinite Money Glitch. I took a break from Stars Shattered because I realized, like, if I just take too much time on like one story, that's just not just how my brain works. My brain needs multiple stories to focus on. And so just kind of picking a chapter here or there keeps everything fresh for me. So that's just kind of what I'm going to start doing. And
that's why I wrote Aes Sedai the way I did as a novella. It's, 60,000 words roughly. And it's for people that just want to read something that's hard hitting, heartfelt, and fun, and don't need to commit 8 billion hours into trying to get through it.
There you go. I'm going to read a couple of one message here and then one super chat. Raven Nevermore says at Maji Chan, and I want to read this out because I have the best community online, period, bar none.
Truth.
And this right here, I did a paid chat on Cobra Cast IRL the other night and told Jeremy, so this is Jeremy Geeks and Gamers, for those that don't know. He needs to set something up with a Drink with Crazy and get on Cobra Cast IRL, TNME, which is Tuesday night's main event, or FNT, and said Shad approved. And I actually think that got I think that got read out on the chat. And then Maji Chan has actually been trying to shill me on Friday Night Tights. And that's really cool because I've been watching a lot of these guys for years. Kikomon for $20.
Thank you, sir.
Happy majestic birthday, King Richard. Great stream, you all. Get the Fear of Moncroy by Bryan Asher. Hail!
Absolutely.
Hail, Kikomon. Thank you, sir. He is absolutely right.
Yep.
Very appreciated.
And I'll finish out my constantly interrupted show with if you want to get the incredible work that Bryan got on the Fear of Moncroy, you can contact me directly on Twitter, or you can find all of my services on whimsyland.org.
Yes.
Highly recommend Daniel's services. He knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park. He even found like one little continuity mistake that nobody saw in all my beta reading.
It
was crazy.
Awesome.
Like tiny. Like one, I'll tell you because it's not going to spoil anything. But Karneth turns the vampire to stone early on. And then later on, somebody talks about him being like turned to ash. And he found that. Nobody else did. So I was able to fix it. So I got to say, hey.
That's my boy.
I love it.
That's my boy.
My kids are yelling on the other side of the door, so I'll have to head out soon. But yeah, Daniel's services are fantastic. He does an excellent job. So highly recommend him. His rates great. And he also does a Zoom chat included too, which is really cool because you get to really break down some stuff. So.
Hey, Royce. The chat says sleep well, okay?
Bye, Royce Jr.
All right now. Just say thank you, chat. Yell it. Really. My boy says thank you, chat.
Love it.
So.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I realized I didn't mute my microphone for that.
No, don't worry about it, man.
It's all good, man.
All
Family's
good.
important. Family's important.
No, they are, man. They are. They keep me going. That's the thing.
It distracts from my terrible shill skills too, so it works.
You're getting better though.
Practice.
Like, you don't have to be as drunk. Richard has a crown on.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
It's
this
great.
Is this even real or is this a dream?
Unique. Yeah, this is a unique stream.
Dude, your kids made you the crown. I don't even care. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Love it.
I would wear the hell out of that. Like,
yeah. I'll put it on for him tomorrow.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Internet memes aside, our chat's like, oh, you guys are dads, and like the crown turns from, oh, it's this funny meme to like, dude, you're the king of the castle, and like your kids mean that, and your kids did that for you. Like, that's what's so cool about our community. Is they're like, wait, you're a dad? That's fucking great. That crown is awesome. That's the crown of dadhood. That's the crown of fatherhood that you're wearing. And like our chat goes from like, and don't get me wrong, they're still gonna give a shit about it.
Yeah.
But like, and then on the side they're gonna be like, because they're gonna give a shit and be like, oh, haha, crown. And then like the next message is gonna be like, but dude, seriously, like your kids are awesome for making you the crown. Like that's how our chat is.
Yep.
It's great. Like our chat is like, we will support you and you will like it. All right.
The beatings will continue until support is appreciated.
See, I've learned to appreciate at this point. It's fine. Mr. Richard.
King Richard.
The King Richard, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who will be turning 36 soon?
Yes.
The man who will be turning 36 on Sunday. So, and everybody, do me a favor. Sunday, during Sunday Coffee, and I will do my best to remember, but I may not. And for those of you out there, don't just wish Richard a happy birthday, but for those of you who are the religious type, offer up a prayer for this man on his birthday, and that I will do my best to remember. And if I don't remember, remind me. And but yes, offer up a prayer for this man on his birthday, and wish him the best. But Richard, what you got going on the next week, man, or the next year, or whatever you're doing with the space lasers and
yeah,
Elon
who
Musk
knows? On Sunday, I will be streaming. I've started streaming on Sunday nights, so I figure I should shill that. I don't really do anything super yeah, I don't really do anything super exciting. It's just very relaxed. I paint minis and BattleTech minis and just talk to chat and occasionally play a game or something like that. So it's very, very relaxed. So swing by then if you want to, ask me a question or anything like that. IronCon 2025.
We need to make
we
that
haven't
happen.
picked the venue yet.
But
it will happen.
Definitely going to happen.
That's going to be hard to build, but I'm down. I'm down. We got 2 years. I'm down.
Out. It may be just like a couple of people meeting behind the Waffle House off of I-10, but somebody gets stabbed.
Please let's not go to Texas. Can we not go to Texas, please, for the love of God?
All right, we go to Cracker Barrel. If things go well, we'll go to Cracker Barrel, guys.
We can meet in the parking lot of an Arby's.
Well, actually,
the
Cracker Barrel parking lot does have some logistical advantages because it has those big parking spaces for RVs. So I'm already kind of liking this idea. Anyway,
we need to find somewhere that's got like a big Sonic, because Sonic always does like those car meets and let people do that. We just go to a Sonic. We get the people on like the skates. Like it'd be, I don't know.
IronCon 2025 confirmed. Location.
You're turning this into like a poor man's hangout.
Exactly.
I will bring a smoke. You guys can give me an excuse to buy a new smoker, and then I will smoke the meats. Oh,
there you go.
Phrasing, trippy.
I was gonna say, anyway, we're gonna keep moving, but if you want IronCon 2025,
my wife won't let me. Guys,
bigger.
You gotta support.
Poor is like freaking out.
Bigger than the Cracker Barrel parking lot or Sonic. Go check out the magazine if you are a creator and you want to, you want to send something in. It's the deadline is approaching, but there's still a little bit of time. You give me a sample of what you're thinking about doing. We don't need to necessarily finalize things till a little bit later in March. And if you are interested in the magazine, you can send an email to magazine@ironage.media, and I'll put you on a mailing list, and that'll let you know whenever the campaign goes live. But for now, the details are at that link that I dropped in chat. The website, as always, go check that out. That's just ironage.media. I'm always looking for articles, not only from creators to do some self-promotion.
I'm sorry.
But also,
I'm sorry. I'm trying.
If you have reviews and promoting other people as well, and then also we have image prompts for short stories, text prompts for artists, and then some of those featured short stories and some other works from Iron Age creators that are set up to be audio prompts. And I'm still kind of figuring out the details on the audio prompts, but
You asked me to do something for you months ago, and I feel like I owe you at this point. So.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm probably just going to write it for you, and then whatever's in it, it's what you have to live with. So
I'm good with my voice. So if you have something that you
what
want
if
me to
for the
use,
audio prompt? What if for the audio prompt that he has to do, you should read the Matthew fight scene that you're all about and post that bad boy up there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That'd be cool because you're a fan of it.
Take that section.
You should do it,
and then you could do that.
Yeah, you should do that. That'd be cool.
We'll talk and we'll figure something out.
I'm pretty sure that was chapter 22.
If a few months go by and this still hasn't been done, I'm just going to pay Herman to pretend to be Royce doing it.
There you go.
Yeah, but like you won't be able. I gotta.
And Kikomon, I will be selling ad space. So if you want to, shill something Kikomon related,
it's just going to be a soy sauce article.
Okay, it was 22. It was chapter 22. I was right. It's awesome. Sorry, I love that scene.
He's gonna buy an ad in the magazine just to put up the Kikomon artwork.
Mm-hmm. I mean, an ad sold's an ad sold. I probably won't allow, if it ends up being all Kikomon art all the time, we might have to have a talk.
Or
it'll be funny though.
Or you lean into it, and at the bottom of the page, you'd be like, "And this week's Kikomon ad," and then people flip that anyway. And Mr. Bryan Asher, sir, sir, what are you doing? What's going on? I know we've talked about you a lot tonight, but it's your show. But keep going, good sir. And I've got the link down to your newest book, and that's how you guys. Yes.
Yep. The Fear of Montcroix is live. It's less than a taco time meal. $14.99 for the paperback, and less than a grande frappuccino for the ebook at $6. So you can find them pretty easily.
I'm not even gonna ask. Not gonna ask. That's
yeah, you know, it is what it is. I'm near Seattle, so. But yeah, so
there you go.
Fear Montcroix's out. Anybody who buys it, I greatly appreciate it. I put the most effort into this as far as formatting, editing, story, artwork. It is the best presentation of my Intercontinents I've put out to date. So anybody who reads it, I'm super stoked. If you want to get in touch with me directly, my Twitter, Asher_author, or you can go to AsherNovels.com and find all my stuff on my website. And if you want to hear me talk about books and stuff, I actually have this up here. I can show you real quick as the final Shilster piece here. And then
I don't see
here it is. It's coming.
Oh, wait, there
give me a second. There it is. So this is my.
Don't tell me wait.
YouTube.
That's rude.
This is my YouTube channel here. So I do, like, if you can see, I've got all my book recommendations. I did an unboxing where I forced my wife to talk about fantasy books. And then
Dark Elf Trilogy.
Yeah, so I did a few different ones there. I've got a couple mangas, some fantasy. John Bellairs, who's my biggest literary influence, and then I've got a trailer for my books there. So that has been there we go. There. So that is what's going on right now for me. So tons of intercontinent stuff, and I'll keep churning out more. So don't be upset that there won't be content for years and years and years, or that series with, ice and fire won't get finished or whatever. I finish what I start. So
there you go. So
yes, the Martin Big.
Actually, I got a good.
Awesome.
I talked to somebody one time, and he was trying to finish his book. He's like, "I'm trying not to George R.R. Ruthfus this. I'm trying to finish what I'm doing."
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
It was so funny, man. I died laughing when he told me that. So.
Here's the thing: I don't even read his stuff, and because of what he's done, and so many people have talked about it, even I'm in on the joke.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same. I haven't read either of their books, but I just know that's like the big thing. So. And that's why I haven't started. So,
I think, Brian, and you're going to have to remind me, the contest here is probably going to run a week or two before I make the decision. And also, you have some more stuff to send me.
Books, so.
Well, they've got to get their books. And then I think you said you're going to send me some more prints. So we're going to wait for that. So I'll announce the winner for this contest here in probably 2-3 weeks, give or take, just depending on how life works out. But keep me on that, guys, because you buy one book, you get a chance to win 2 more books plus custom prints. I really loved the Assassin of Malcazet, and I guess I have to do an audio prompt for that scene in chapter 22 of the Assassin of Malcazet. So I'll have to put on. Man, that's going to be a lot of work. I haven't edited.
I feel you.
I haven't edited voice work like that in a long time. So that's going to be a lot of takes. But I'm down. So, guys, hey, do me a favor. You guys got to go. You got to win this book. You guys got to win these books. Okay. I got books. I got pictures. He's sending me more stuff. You guys need to win. And here's how you win. You go buy this book, right? You go buy this book. Then you send me the picture of the receipt, or like the shipping. It'll be here on Wednesday from Amazon, right? You send me that picture and be like, hey, it's on its way. Then you send me a picture of when you have it, and then I will choose who the winner is. But you guys also have to be on my Gilded, because that's how you send it to me. And I would really appreciate it if you guys go over to the Gilded and just join the community. And if for some reason you guys are absolutely insane enough, or possibly drunk enough, please be drunk, to decide to subscribe over there and support me over there, not only will you guys be supporting the channel and helping it grow, but by you guys going over to the Gilded and supporting over on the Gilded, or even on my locals, and becoming a part of the supporter tiers over there, you guys will get an invite to the supporter streams every Wednesday night. And that is where I bring my supporters on, and we go over some fantastic some fantastic new stories, books, comic books, movies, whatever is being created by Iron Age creators and by like-minded creators like us. And we get to talk about and share our first opinions on guys that are in the same position as Bryan here. And that's what is really awesome about this is I don't really want to build a channel and a community that's about a drink with crazy. I want to build a channel and a community that's about pushing and supporting other people because my kids need stories. My kids need that pivotal author of this time. My kids need that. I don't know who that author is. Could be Bryan here today. He could be the guy.
I could win the pivotal role.
You could be the pivotal. I don't know. In 50 years from now, 75 years from now, who are people going to be talking about? I don't know. I don't know who that person is. What I do know is that here on my channel, me and my supporters, we're going to be talking about them before they're well known to the world. I know that for a fact. Me and my supporters will be talking about the next Tolkien, the next George R.R. Martin, but the good one who finishes his books, the next J.K. Rowling.
Poor George.
Right? We'll be talking about the next Mark Twain here on my channel before that guy ever sees the fantastic fame that they will see and the notoriety throughout society. It's happening here on A Drink with Crazy, and that's why you guys go to the Gilded. That's why you guys go to the locals, and that's why you guys are here. And if you guys ever want to jump in on the Wednesday live streams, that's why you guys become a supporter over there, because we're going to be talking about the next great American author or the next great world author. It's happening here on this channel. I know it's happening. I'm going to make it happen. And when that person comes out and they sell like 1 million books in 20 years, whoever it is, they're going to come back to this channel and they're going to say, I did my first interview with you, or I did my, one of my earliest interviews with you. It's going to happen. It's going to be here on A Drink with Crazy. And ladies and gentlemen, all of that being said, I appreciate everybody being here. And I hope to see you guys all next week on Iron Age Nights. And I do hope that you guys also check out some of the other live streams that I do throughout the week. But ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. Oh, good Lord, gentlemen.
Wish
we took the crown off.
Bye, Fear of Moncroy.
Bye, Fear of Moncroy. Do it. Took the crown off, Richard.
All right, okay, it's going back.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you should see this. Richard's stripping now. He's taking more than the crown off. Oh.
Scandal.
Scandalous. Oh. Send the Gilded link again. Why I gotta send the Gilded link again? God, the chat's so needy tonight. Michael Harris. It's M. Anthony Harris. There's the Gilded link. Go click on that Gilded link. It's right there. It's also linked down in the description of every live stream that we do. Bryan, thanks for coming on again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love it.
Morning from me every day.
I love being here.
Good, dude.
And I love your background. We hazed you about your background last time, but
I was ready to go this time.
Huge step up.
Dude, I legit thought it was a green screen.
Desktop background too.
I legit that is not a green screen. That's a That's a fucking. Oh my god, dude! That's a whole stand. Are you screwing with me? That's awesome.
Yeah, this is for Comic-Con, so it says Bryan Asher, author of the Intercontinents. That has my website.
Wicked.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's yeah, this is my Comic-Con site. So yeah.
Dude, that's way too professional for this show.
Hey man,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here on Iron Age Nights. We had an absolute blast, and as always, I look forward to seeing you all next time. Cheers, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night.